welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic. And then you're saying, great job, 49ers!
The five best players ever in the NBA, Kobe Bryant is not one of them.
Rafa, you can't say anyone that he doesn't belong in the league. Give me that amount of money, and I'll do whatever you want me to do. Josh Allen will never make the playoffs again.
The SEC is straight trash.
This fool was a crumb buff.
Oh, he was in one of those vests?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic, episode 103. How's everyone doing out there? We are live on YouTube. Guys, we are an interactive show, so go ahead and give us a shout out. You guys have any questions, concerns? Something happened yesterday. I don't know what went on, some kind of event. You know what happened yesterday, Rafa?
College football playoff, man. First fucking game.
Yes, that's what it is. That's
NFL
what it is.
trade deadline. Where the fuck were you at, Ed?
Dude, big day yesterday.
Yeah, it was a huge day.
Yes, there's CJ. But let's go through the introductions. We have CJ Wowo in the house. How you doing, man?
What's up? What's going on?
Yeah, Air Force D1 former center and national champion, correct? From St. John Bosco.
Two-time state. Let's put some respect. Two-time state champ. One-time Trinity League champ, and one-time not. No, Rafa, you're a hater. That's what you are.
Bro, when somebody gives you like a introduction, you don't add to the shit.
No,
add into the shit.
I gotta get my just like LeBron James likes to add. I have to add to mine.
All right.
Next time, CJ, email me your intro and I'll do it right.
All right.
Give you proper introduction. Eddie Money, executive producers in the house, looking fresh. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Big chilling.
And we have Rafa, the guru, all the way up north on the 5 freeway. Beautiful hat he has on, making a statement. Congrats on your win, Rafa.
Oh, thank you. Not only for me, it's for the entire country and the world, sir.
Well, listen, we are Two Nobodies with the Mic. We are the gambling show of record. We don't do politics, but if you do and Rafa does politics, Rafa, give a shout out for your podcast, the Yappin'
Podcast on Thursday nights and Sundays. We talk about everything. We talk about bad NFL quarterbacks, great NBA players, politics, and all of that good stuff.
He does it all. I'll just say this real quick. Love and peace for everyone. If you're a good person, you're a good person. I don't care if you're right, left. Be good to each other. If you're on the winning side, congrats. If you're on the losing side, you know what? Don't be a sore loser. And what is the motto of this show, Eddie Money?
Don't be a loser, man.
Don't be a loser. That just goes out to everyone out there. Usually it's gambling, but don't be a loser. Just love, peace, man. We're all living in this country. Let's all get along. And CJ throwing gang signs.
No, it's a hard.
I know. I'm just joking, CJ. But let's get into it, guys.
Introduction and now this shit. You're out of control here tonight, buddy.
Yeah. Let's get into it, guys. Every week we do a mythical or just a pretend firing or hiring. And who wants to start off with "You Are Fired" this week?
I'll go first. I want to fire myself. Terrible picks last week. It was terrible. I mean, we had some brutal games go not our way. So I am firing myself. The Blue Trips were trash last week. I promise you this week we will be a lot better.
Yes. That's a promise from Two Nobodies to all our wonderful people out there that we show love to. Eddie Money.
Way to be accountable.
Yeah, it's accountability, man.
I'm not gonna fire. I'm gonna hire. I'm gonna hire the Washington Redskins GM. Goes out and get all pro corner Marshawn Lattimore. They're in a win now situation. Acquire the best roster you can. NFC is always wide open, especially with the teams like they are looking right now.
Yeah,
perfect move for that team.
I mean, think about it. The Chiefs, the Ravens, and Commanders or Redskins all making moves, all and all in the hunt for a Super Bowl. So yeah,
The Ravens, by the way, made a great move as well.
Also,
Ravens,
they got Tre'Davious White.
Yeah.
Yes, LSU. Zero Cool said Luke Getsy fired from the Raiders. That was yes, a must. Also, I mean, I thought they should keep him on so we could secure the number 1 freaking pick of the draft, but whatever. Zach wants to fire the Todd Bowles. I agree, Zach, 1000%. CJ, is that not a rule? If you're on the road and you have a chance and you are driving, defense is on its heels, you have momentum, why wouldn't Todd Bowles go for 2?
Hell no. I've always as a player and into going as a coach, I've always been against when you're on the road and you're an underdog going for 2. Like I've always been like, it's big risk, big reward. I get it, but I've always been a guy that's been, have faith in your team, get the point, tie the game, go into overtime and win the game. Like,
Are you kidding?
I've always been that
Patrick,
way. I've always been that way.
Dude, Baker
never
Mayfield
works out.
No, look it. I talked about this on Sunday, by the way. Gerard Mayo, the great play by Drake May with zeros on the clock. Makes a great play, throws a touchdown pass, and then they don't go for 2. They go into overtime and lose the fucking game. So
I understand. I get it. But I've just always been a guy that's like, have faith in your team and go win it the way that it was supposed to be won, which is not, risking a 2-point conversion. I'm sorry. I've always been that way. It's my opinion.
I just know on defense, guys get frustrated. You keep on going back. You're looking at it around like, I'm doing my job. Who's not doing their job? You're confused. You're tired. And offensive linemen, especially when you're driving, it seems like you guys get more stamina. You guys are more energized when you start pushing people around. It just seemed like the perfect opportunity. And let's not forget, you have the up and coming, almost best player to ever live in the NFL. Mr. Kermit.
I like how he curved that.
Up and coming. Not there yet, but you can't give him the ball back, man. You can't do that.
From personal experience, yes, I know. Don't give that motherfucker the ball. But I've just never been a fan of that. Just me personally.
Well,
by the way, Will Stanley said that he would like to hire the American people for electing Donald Trump.
Oh my gosh! All right,
we gotta. And Zero Cool said, "I'd rather have Freddie Freeman as president."
Oh well, come on, man. That's a no-brainer.
Too bad he's Canadian.
I don't know any other candidates hitting the grand slam in game 1. That's all I know,
bro. He would unite the country. He would, unite. He would unite us all.
Not New York though. Not New York.
Definitely not New York,
dude. I'm sorry. Like, I don't. How do you dislike Freddie Freeman? It's almost an impossibility. Like it's almost like not liking whipped cream. Like,
actually, I have a friend that doesn't like whipped cream.
I have a daughter that doesn't like it. It drives me insane. Like, how do you not like fucking whipped cream? Yeah, it's like, what? Like,
wow.
Yeah,
strange.
Very strange.
Whipped cream with milkshakes.
Yeah,
I mean, all the boys to the yard.
Yeah. TJ brings all the boys to the yard.
Woo!
Zach,
go ahead.
Zach does he doesn't like whipped cream either, by the way.
I'm not a big fan of it. Like on my, with my drinks.
You don't like Cool Whip? Cool Whip is amazing. Go ahead, CJ.
I think in a way I'm gonna fire the playoff rankings, and here's why. The SEC, I keep doing it. We're keep going over it, but how the fuck is Alabama the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 team in the SEC and the number 11th ranked team in the country? That makes no sense to me.
I could answer that.
I understand, but it's over fucking rated. At the end of the day, it is over fucking rated. These teams are bolstered by the football playoff and the committee bolstering these teams before the season and then just allowing them to, like Missouri. Like, why the fuck? Like we keep doing this over and over again with the SEC and these middle-ranked SEC teams. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. It drives me fucking nuts.
I agree, Rick Flores.
All right.
Well, real quick answer is Alabama has the second best win in the country. You know, Oregon
Damn
has the
right.
best win, and Alabama. And listen, you know they have a bad loss, but if they beat LSU,
Like, hello.
On the road.
No, don't do that. Do not do.
On
Don't
the
do
road.
that. Hey,
On the
sorry,
road.
no.
On
Get the fuck
the
out of here.
road.
Get the fuck
Dude,
out of
you're
here.
gonna tell me
They're the
that
number
you're gonna
8
tell me
team
right
in the
now.
conference.
You're gonna tell me right now that Alabama plays fucking Indiana and Alabama's not favored by at least 10?
It's winning.
I don't give a fuck. They have the
Indiana's winning the game.
schedule. Their strength of schedule is 101. 101, dude.
Rafael,
101.
you can only play who they put on your schedule. And what has Indiana done to every team that's on the schedule? What have they
boat
done?
race.
That's the question. Beat
Boat
the
race.
shit out of them. Put them in a grinder. Do what they're supposed to do. If Vandy beats you, you're not in the playoff. Thank you. Exactly.
Vandy's playing well. They fucking lost by 3 to Texas this weekend.
Oh, well, you can't be number 8 in your conference and be number 11 in the country. That just makes no fucking sense.
This is not the BCS, CJ. Okay, so get over
Well,
it.
we will touch on that more.
We will get into that.
We'll get into that more. I want to fire myself because it's looking
a lot of accountability today.
Yeah, it's looking like more and more that Shedeur Sanders is most likely going to be a Raider. And yeah, I stuck my disgusting
Stuck
foot
your pinky
right
out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did I say I would cut off my pinky? Or no?
Yeah,
No,
you said you
I
cut
would.
off your pinky.
No. I would cut off my pinky for
for
Jalen Milroe. I said that I would stop being
a Raider fan. You'd stop being a Raider fan if they drafted Shedeur.
Yeah. And I don't know if they'll be high enough because I keep on looking at mock drafts and he's in the top 3. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Shedeur Sanders has very timely tweets after every loss, like specifically right after a Raiders loss. He goes on X or Twitter and says, "Praise God" or "Thank you, God." It's definitely a bridge into Vegas. He wants to be in Vegas, and he's not shy about it. And I'm wondering if he's gonna pull a Eli Manning or a John Elway and say, "You guys could draft me, but I have another year of eligibility, and if I don't go to Las Vegas, I'm gonna stay." I feel like that's heading that way, like in a bullet train. What do you guys think?
I've said it before that I didn't think he would Eli Manning this shit, but it looks more and more like he will.
Yeah.
And he's playing good. That's the thing, that he's not playing bad. So since he's playing good, I think he has something to stand on, right? He's playing really, really good. He's not playing like Cam Ward, but nobody is. But he is playing very well. The Buffs are in the hunt. They're outside of the top 12, but if they run that table, man, how do you keep them out? You know what? You're fired. That's done. Let's get into college football. Yes or yes?
Who's Rick Flores has a Colorado firing.
Oh,
you would like to fire Hunter for walking around with a flag on game day saying Hunter/Sanders for Heisman. Dude begging for it. Get over it.
Zero Cool says Miami's been given a lot of wins.
Agreed.
I don't know about giving.
I don't know about
giving.
That's not true. That's not true at all. Cam Ward, they were down 20. Yeah, they've taken it. They were down versus who's the last team they played?
They were down against Cal 25. They were down against Duke at halftime, and in the second half, just fucking rolled.
And if you're gonna say if anyone was giving it to it was probably the Virginia Tech game, which is controversial call. And I watched the game yesterday, the Miami and Duke game, and my God, Cam is just a beast, but he's good for one knucklehead ass play.
Yes,
game.
It's not like that one where he rolled out to the right of the sideline and then he chucked it across to the back of the field and it floated in the air for 30 seconds. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
That's one of those plays where you think like you're too good, right?
Yes. Yeah, you're too
He
confident.
does it once a game, Rafa. He does it once a game.
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I don't agree with Zero Cool though on given. And you put given again. Miami
especially
wins.
this season. Nobody's given any wins.
Like the Virginia Tech game. Listen, they called it a catch, and we went through this. Like they called it a catch, so it should have stayed a catch. But in reality, we know he didn't catch.
Right.
That's what it was. Should have never been ruled a catch in the first place.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
But Des Bryant also did catch it. The Cowboys are still crying about that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So,
faux show. Good.
But let's get into some college football. Let's get into the playoffs. CJ, is there any way you pull up the playoffs or no?
Yes, sir.
Anything stand out to you guys that's egregious? I mean, well, I guess CJ already kind of said it. How do you put Alabama in the 11th or 8th spot there?
No, they're 11th.
They're 11th.
So here, I'll break it down for you first because CJ's a fucking hater. So the rankings, and then on the right you have well, they're both actually the rankings, but they're actually the playoff the way it's supposed to be. Well, when you rank them, so BYU is at 9, but in reality they're the 4 because they're the Big 12 representative at this point, right? But there's no other fucking Big 12 team in there in that race. Now Ole Miss this week, Ole Miss has 16. If Ole Miss beats Georgia, then Ole Miss has to leapfrog, has to jump in, obviously, right? So somewhere they have to jump in. But if you pull Georgia out, who beat Texas, who's in there, it's a shit show is what it is. And it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be great. How did we live without 12 teams? Like, how did we even, it seems like impossible. How did we pick? Is it because this year there's no clear cut? And Eddie and I were talking about it earlier. Even though Oregon is number 1, it doesn't feel like they're the clear cut best team in the country, only because I believe Autzen is a crazy place to play. And
oh my gosh. Continue, Eddie. Continue.
Okay.
Just keep going.
It just feels like that game, you play it again 5 more times in a neutral setting. It's a coin flip.
For sure. I think it definitely is playing a factor this year because I think, and me and Ralph have talked about it, because there are 12 spots, it just gives that offering to play harder. Like teams are just playing. You see it on Saturday. There's so many games that are just nuts because so many teams, like if you look down, all the way down to Army, like Army is still thinking at 25 that they can somehow sneak in to a college football playoff spot.
They can. There's
Army 100%. 100%.
There's a pathway.
Dude, right. Army's better than Boise.
So exactly. So in what year could you look and say, we look to the number 1 and they're making it, and we look down to 25 and they can?
Listen, if Army beats Notre Dame, that's it. If Army wins out, they're in because they will have beat Notre Dame. They have to, if they win out, which if they do, that will be a Notre Dame win. They will beat Notre Dame. They're in. They will
because you're arguing over an undefeated Army versus a 1-loss Boise State.
Well, they still have to play Navy again. Hold up.
No, I know, but I'm saying if they go undefeated, there's no doubt that they're
okay.
And Boise is not better, Zach, playing against fucking UNLV and San Diego State.
Army's not playing against much better, but
let's not forget that at the time we didn't think Boise was good, but they've proven to be a good quarterback, good defense. Obviously, there's a running back that's pretty good, but they gave everything. The number 1 team in the country, by the way, they gave everything that Oregon could handle. I believe it was in Autzen, was it not?
That's a loaded comment. That was in week 2. These guys had just beat Idaho the week before, and they were up 3 with 3 minutes left. Oregon was playing terrible. They played Oregon today, and they're not even in the fucking game. Like that, they're not.
How do you say that when they have played this season and they've lost by? I don't understand. That doesn't make sense to me. You're saying that in a season where they've already played, not week 1 or week 0,
it was a second
right. Game. So, but it doesn't matter. Oregon was a top 10 team in the country at that point.
Yeah, so we're gonna take
Top
Idaho
5.
losing by 10. And they were 8. They were 8 that week. Oh, so are we gonna take Idaho and put them on a fucking pedestal because they only lost by 10 in Oregon and they were only down 3 with 3 minutes left? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, what's
on.
Idaho's done since?
Right.
Not a damn thing.
Okay.
Not a
Boise-
damn thing. Oregon
Boise
has
State's
not
number
played
12
good.
in the country.
Yeah, they won't be that. They won't
Listen,
be that.
against San Diego State, it's really the first time that I saw them play, almost a full game. That quarterback shined way more than Janty did. The quarterback looked great.
I thought
Yeah.
that was a good thing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
he's
letting
good.
you know that if you can't rely on Genty, that the quarterback.
It was San
can
Diego
perform.
State, though. Put it this way. If we look at the teams in the playoffs right now, who would Boise State play? They play the 4 or they play the 5, right? Texas would probably be favored by 14 fucking points.
Texas for the first 5 weeks of the season was considered the best team in the country. I mean, I'm looking.
Boise State would play Ohio State if it ended.
Oh, you're right, because Ohio State would be the 5 and Texas would be the 6. Oh, that's right. Because Texas would play Alabama.
I guarantee you, whoever Boise State plays, if it was
losing.
Army in that position, Boise State would be favored by less of a margin than Army would be. Like the Army's line would be way bigger.
If you know what, can I take a little quantum leap back real quick?
Zach, that is very untrue, by the way.
If I'm going to fire anyone, can I fire Boise State head coach for putting Ashton Genty in the game to pad his stats when they're up by 38 points? That was kind of bush freaking.
Dude, it was 42-10. 42-10. This guy had done nothing on Friday night. He had done nothing. He had like.
So you don't like the fact that his coach was trying to put him in a position to try to help him get to New York?
You're in a playoff hunt.
That's fine. You can try and do it, but what if he gets hurt against a garbage ass team when you're already up 32?
He's a running back. There's a high chance he's going to get hurt anyways. He is hurt.
Not if he's on the bench. Not if he's on the bench. Up 32.
Listen, hindsight's 2020.
If my guy is a Heisman front runner and it's in the fourth quarter and he is struggling to stay in the race and he's coming up to me saying, "Coach, I want to stay in the game. It's a senior year." Yeah, dude, go for it. Similar to how Nick Sirianni asked Saquon Barkley if he wanted to.
They're not doing that for. All the other guys in the Heisman race are not getting asked, "Oh, please, coach, put me in because I need these yards."
The other guys don't need to. They play for
because they play real teams. That's the difference.
CJ, if they were only playing for the Heisman, then I don't have a problem with it. You're trying to get us, but they're in the playoff hunt. You're in a national championship race. That if he gets hurt, that's a huge. That's what 35% in your offense. That's a bullshit move.
I don't think it's bullshit, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I understand, but yeah, if that's my player, I'm like, oh, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, let me ask you something since we're on this playoff talk. Tennessee loses. They beat Bama, but they're out because they would have another loss.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily.
Of course, necessarily. How you figure?
A 2-loss Tennessee team?
A 2-loss Tennessee team is not ranked higher than a 2-loss Bama team, even though Bama lost to Tennessee. You know why? Because Bama beat Georgia. That's the difference.
I don't know. I think the playoff committee might have some recency bias in that one.
What if Tennessee's second loss is Georgia?
Yeah, a team that Bama destroyed for fucking 40 minutes.
At that point, you're playing football math, and it just doesn't make sense. At that point, it's just going to be who's.
They're literally telling you that Alabama at 11, their value of them beating Georgia is extremely high because they have Bama at 11.
Or they're telling you that they're fucking Alabama they're sucking their dick like they do every fucking year.
Okay. That's your opinion because you hate it. You cannot deny the fact. You cannot deny the fact. You keep bringing this, they're 8th and they're this and that. You cannot deny the fact that in any fucking neutral field, we look at the 12 teams and Bama will beat Boise, Alabama, Notre Dame.
You know why we don't know that,
Indiana.
Rafa? You know why we don't know that? Because they didn't beat Vanderbilt. So that's why we don't know that. We don't know that. Because on the road, they might go to Boise State and lose. They might go to fucking SMU and lose. Like, we don't know.
It's a different time. Bama shown you, history has shown you that Bama will always be there. knocking
That's
on
ridiculous.
History has shown you that they've never lost a fucking Vanderbilt.
You don't even like De Boer or whatever.
I don't.
This is
I
not.
don't.
This is, you can't go off of history and bloods. You have to go
They
year
beat
by
Georgia
year.
already. Eddie, they beat Georgia this year.
I know they did, but
So
you
if
can't
Tennessee
say
loses to
history
Georgia,
will tell you that
Tennessee
they'll
will-
win.
And how has Georgia looked, by the way?
They're still the number 3 ranked team in the country.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, and they beat the team that we all thought was the best team, and they destroyed them on the road.
Ooh. I'm just saying they don't look very good right now.
Oh man, I can't wait till these playoffs start and fucking every single. I hope the Final Four is all SEC so I can have you and Zach on here fucking crying like little bitches.
Higher probability of getting to those 4 spots because you're putting mostly fucking SEC teams in the playoffs.
That's where the talent sits, or you still not get that? We still don't understand that, huh? That's where all the talent in the country and in the NFL for the most part, except for fucking offensive linemen, sit in the Southeastern Football Conference.
The last part of that is not true. It's not. It's statistically, verifiably not true.
Okay.
The best talent, obviously, comes from California. Why? Because I believe in the last draft, there was mostly Californians.
Listen, CJ, I'm going to tell you something. Before you got on this podcast, we actually went through the top 20 players in the NFL. Eddie remembers this. You remember we went through the list?
I was here.
How many? You were here? How many were from California?
Yes.
I think it was one. And it was Devontae Adams.
Go back today to the last draft. Like today, what is it, 6th of November 2024, and you go back to the last draft, it was mostly fucking Californians that were getting drafted.
Where did they go to college?
It doesn't matter.
No, it matters because I'm talking about college. I don't give a fuck where they grew up.
You grow up.
You guys are arguing 2 different things.
Yes,
CJ,
I'm telling you that the best players play in the SEC. I don't give a fuck if they're born in your backyard.
It matters. It absolutely matters because you're arguing where the best players are from, and I'm telling you that the best talent comes from California and goes elsewhere.
What did I tell you? Where do they play? Where do they play? In the
That's not what I'm arguing.
That's it. That's what I'm telling you.
And the Big 10, and the Big 12, and the SEC for that matter.
No, wrong. Okay, I said that the best players play in the SEC. That's what I said. That was my comment. The best players play in the SEC. I don't give a fuck if they're born in fucking Downey or in fucking Whittier. They play in the SEC.
They play in the ACC, the Big 12, the MAC, the WAC, the mythical.
You guys are arguing 2 different things. This conversation.
All right. Yeah.
The SEC has the best players. CJ, you're an idiot if you don't think it.
Rafa, you're an idiot because they're overrated.
Okay. That's a yap. You know what? Do an hour on yapping, you too. So yap your ass off on that shit.
Smack his ass.
By
By the way, and Ohio State
actually
fucking number 2 in the country in the rankings, but they have to be, so people who don't understand, they have to be the 5 seed.
I love how the top 10 is mostly not SEC.
Well, let's get into the games this week. Any games last week you want to cover?
The ass whooping Ohio State put on Penn State. It wasn't really an ass whooping, but Penn State just can't score, man. On offense, dude, that 0 touchdowns, that 6 points on offense, that a pick six, a terrible throw by Will Rogers. Then they threw a bad interception. You saw that pick by Drew Aller going in.
Yeah,
that was bad.
That's tough.
That was tough. And so, but
same old James Franklin, man. I lost money on that.
Franklin 1-10 against Ohio State, bro.
Okay,
that is terrible.
I'm a James Franklin defender.
No, I like the guy. I just don't like him against Ohio State and Michigan.
But I'm a big defender of him because I think, and this is not my take, I'm definitely borrowing it, but I agree with it, is that Penn State is a B+, A- program whose fans and fan base expect them to be an A+ program when they truly start to finish of the season have not been that. Start to finish of the season, they have been a B+, A- program, New Year's Six Bowl type of program, but they've never been giant killers.
Well, because they're a giant.
100% right.
Yeah, right.
No.
They're a small giant.
No. And this if it depends how you define a giant. So if you look back, there's 3 teams, and you'll be shocked to see this. It's like Alabama, Texas, and Penn State is a cash cow. That program produces, oh my God, I thought like 10 years ago was $60 million a year. Penn State's huge. They reach far and they bring in, now they haven't won. Like I get they're not a blue blood because they haven't won. But as far as resources and fan base, they are gigantic.
So you're talking about the program. I'm talking about as far as winning, like just winning football games. Like they're not giant killers. Like they don't win big football games. I'm saying this. My point is, if you get rid of James Franklin, are you a B+ or A- program any longer? Like if you're not, and that's the reality of it. You're not winning 10 games every single year without James Franklin. You run the risk of being a 7 to 8 win program because James Franklin is not there. So you can't get rid of him, Penn State fans. He does what most coaches can't do.
Yeah, he's good for 10 wins.
Depends who you bring in. Who you bringing in? It's a great job. They have. It's not like it. Penn State's. It's. I mean, listen. James Franklin did. Why they're so loyal, I think, is that he took them from the doldrums. He went in there when they had the sanctions, and I mean, that's the one place you didn't want to be. He hung in there, recruited his ass off, and so they owe his ass, and that's probably why they haven't gotten rid of him. But
they're really good, Eddie. 9 games. 9 games.
I agree.
9 games, sometimes 10. The problem is just the 2. It's just Ohio State and Michigan, and this year they should be Michigan. The problem is beating Ohio State is the problem for them. That's the one problem.
That's everyone's problem. Ohio State's top 4 every year.
Right. They win the conference every year.
Yeah, no. That's 100%. But Penn State's just unfortunate that they're the 3rd best team in the fucking Big Ten.
Yeah. But CJ, I don't agree with they can't upgrade from him. I think they can.
I don't know if there's an upgrade. Who
do you hire? Who do you hire to upgrade?
James Franklin is a top 5 coach.
Okay, well, I said
I agree with that.
I forget his name from Indiana. That dude ain't gonna be at Indiana very long. I say Michigan, but he can go to Penn State too. He can come to SC. I mean, dude's gonna.
I'd love him to go to SC.
That's interesting.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would.
He's not.
He has a grind. Yeah, he has a grinder mentality, and that's not SC's identity.
Unfortunately, Lincoln Riley is more SC than anything.
All right, so let's get on to the games.
Let's do it, man. What do we got first up, Eddie Money?
First up, we got Ohio State. They play against Purdue. Ohio State is at home, favored by a whopping 38.
Swipe this game, bro. Like they don't even cover. Like, dude, they don't even play like a fucking complete game with all the talent they have.
So you say you like Purdue? You like Purdue with 38?
No.
Oh. Okay.
I don't like.
Okay.
It's atrocious. Okay. They fucking gave up 66 to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Florida and Texas.
We got another big spread here. Florida playing against number 5 Texas minus 21.5 with over under 48.
Dude, after that Georgia game for Texas, like that, they haven't looked like what we thought they were. And I don't know if it's Quinn. I mean, he's still hurt, or I don't know. And Florida's been a lot better than what people thought they were going to be.
Dude, the schedule's just murder's row, man.
Yes, it's actually terrible.
Dude, I think they played a ranked opponent fucking for how many weeks in a row?
It was definitely the toughest schedule in the country, and I don't think it was even close.
Oh, no doubt. Dude, they played Tennessee. They played fucking Georgia. They played Miami.
And if anything, Napier has proven to be a good coach. She's like navigated pretty decent through this whole thing.
Yeah, they look at the teams they played. They played Tennessee, who was ranked, Georgia ranked, Texas A&M is now ranked, and Miami. Those are the ranked teams. Crazy. And they played Kentucky, which is somehow always battling, which
always
is
tough.
Always tough.
QB consistency is a huge thing. When you're QB, when you are trying to run a dual QB system, which is almost what Texas has in a way, it messes up everything. It messes up the cadence. It messes up the timing. It messes up the receivers. That's hard to have 2 different QBs in and out.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, they've struggled with the offensive line. That was the issue. They couldn't keep Ewers off his freaking back, man.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how Texas does this week. We need another week out of Texas to see what they can do. I need a good performance.
And then we're going into Rafa's Heisman, number 4 Miami, and Cam Ward's favored by 11 going into Georgia Tech with over under 63.5.
Eddie, let me ask you something, Eddie.
Yeah.
So you watched Genty play last week, right? And you watched Cam Ward play. Who's the Heisman?
Yeah.
In your eyes, who's the Heisman?
It's not even close, man. Cam Ward, if you look at it, Cam Ward and Miami. I said it was a one-man show. It's not a one-man show. There's talent. But Miami scores 15 more points a game than they did last year. 15. That is an incredible difference. He makes it look easy at times. It's ridiculous how confident he is in the pocket. And it's not bubble screens. It's not prison break. It's beautiful dimes over the shoulder. They are dimes. I don't know if I'm trying to think, man, like of a quarterback that I've seen throw the ball, by the way, throw the ball this well. It's really impressive.
I can name you one. And it was very recent. Michael Penix Jr.
He was
at Washington.
He threw it down the field for sure.
That's who he reminds me of, personally.
I think Cam's better in the pocket.
He's a better quarterback for sure.
He's a better quarterback. No disrespect to Michael Penix.
That's a good one. I like it.
Zero Cool says Ashton Genty will be the Heisman. Sorry to tell you.
I don't know who Gently is.
Sorry to tell you, but Ashton Genty is not the Heisman. And we can put that to bed, I think. Do you have current odds on that, anybody?
Give me 30 seconds.
The last time I saw it was Travis Hunter, Genty. Travis Hunter, Genty, and then Cam Ward at 3.
Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious?
I'm sorry. I might put Cam Ward in.
Yeah.
Travis and Cam are both tied at plus 185, and then Dylan Gabriel at plus 350, and Genty at plus 500.
He's fading quick.
I'll tell you this. So if you do the pie chart to see where Barry Sanders was in 88, was it 88? I believe it was, and where he is now below pace. Like whatever last week was, Barry Sanders had one of those 300-yard games with 5 touchdowns because he's not on pace anymore. And I said this when Genty started getting the Heisman talk, and he was number 1, that if he got close to Barry Sanders' amazing, the most incredible season of running back that we've ever seen in our lifetime or any lifetime, then he has to get it. But he's slowly falling behind pace, and he's not going to get near, I believe, 2,600 yards and something like 41 touchdowns. He's not on pace. So
this is the thing about the running backs. Melvin Gordon almost got to Barry, and he finished second in the Heisman, and he played in the Big Ten for Wisconsin, and he was right behind Barry. I mean, granted, I think his yards were also in the bowl game, which Barry's were not. And he didn't win the Heisman. So, and that's in the Big Ten.
So Rafa's right, and so here's my thing is the reason why me and Eddie Money and so many people were on Genty is because with the Heisman and you may not agree with it, but with the Heisman has to come a story. Like it has to come with it a story. A story helps. Caleb Williams had a story. He was electric. Cam Ward has a story. Genty has a story because he is a non-power 4 player that was putting up Barry Sanders' numbers. So when you see a non-power 4 player going crazy, voters are going to naturally fall in love with that. They're going to naturally like it. They're going to naturally be attracted to it. And
what are you talking about?
The difference is as soon as that goes up, as soon as you go down as a non-group of 5 player, those voters are going to be gone, long gone.
Eddie, do you remember Kevin Smith, University of Central Florida?
I'm going to say this. Do you remember 2 white amazing running backs from Stanford that should have won it? That's a great story.
Those are in the Pac-12. Okay,
right.
Those were in the Pac-12, which is a lot easier to get into the Heisman. To win a Heisman is a lot easier if you're in the Pac-12 than a non-power 4.
Oh, okay.
University of Central Florida. Kevin Smith,
yes,
ran for like 2,300 and something yards.
Yes,
he finished like 7th in the voting.
yeah.
Like, dude, they consider the talent you play against. It's a big deal.
That too, but
that's a big deal. And this guy's playing against a bunch of nobodies. And I wish you guys understood that, but obviously you didn't.
I understand it. I played in the conference.
So there you go.
That wasn't our point, though. That was never.
Yeah, that wasn't our point. Yeah.
Oh, it was you guys didn't understand that. You guys actually thought they were
how can you tell me I don't understand it? I played in the fucking conference. I can't understand it. I'm telling you that the Mountain West is just not as shitty as you think it is, first of all. It's just not.
Nobody's giving the Heisman to a player who's in the Mountain West. Just so you know.
Not now. But the first 4 weeks.
But if he had continued his pace for the first 5 games.
Bro, listen, if he would have rushed for 2,500 yards and 30 touchdowns, he still wouldn't have won the Heisman. He finished second.
I don't agree with that because the first 4 week odds would have argued differently.
All right. Melvin Gordon's stats are different and against the Big Ten, and he didn't win. So there's
Who
that.
did he lose to?
Ohio State. He played for.
No,
all you gotta do is
who won the Heisman that year.
All you gotta do, really, guys, is simply watch Boise State the last 3 weeks and watch Cam Ward play the last 3 weeks, and it's the eye test. It's very simple. Cam Ward is playing out of his ass. It's insane.
Also, and even if Cam Ward loses a game, which is at Georgia Tech is a very tricky game here. The line's only 11, by the way. So on the road, but even if Cam Ward loses, if he plays well, that don't matter. How many games did Jaden Daniels lose last year, and he still won that thing?
Off topic, anybody, he lost to Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
Who went to the Heisman? Okay. Who went to the national championship, by the way?
Yeah, and he was phenomenal also. As Cam Ward is. Anyways,
Miami
minus 11. Be careful with this game, but definitely take the over. Blue chip the over, 63.5. Miami scores. Their defense sucks. First blue chip of the night. Miami over 63.5 against.
I believe King is not playing. Rafa, I believe King is not playing. Don't quote me on that, but I think and he's a huge part of that Georgia Tech. I agree with you though. Georgia Tech always gives them issues, but that quarterback who beat Florida State and he's a pretty decent quarterback is I believe he is out.
Yeah, so we've seen what Miami's defense does. Fucking nothing.
Not
a damn thing. That's what I think is going to cost them in the playoffs. Yes.
Can I ask you a question? Both of you, both Eddie and Rafa. Who's more trash? That's like a basic question. Caleb Williams' defense or Cam Ward's defense?
Oh, no. Caleb Williams had a generational worst defense. I mean,
they were bad.
I might have been able to. I mean, the last 2 years, I might have been able to get on the field and maybe get some reps out there at middle linebacker.
Can I ask you? I just wanted. I thought you were going to answer that way. Are you possibly saying that because Cam Ward is winning these games and Caleb Williams didn't? Is that a possibility? Because I think these defenses are both historically shitty.
No, but for example, this last game, right, where I think Miami's defense didn't allow a point in the second half, right? I think that's what it was, right?
Yes, something
like that, or they might have allowed 7 or whatever. USC's defense was never doing that.
True.
Like USC's defense was never gonna stop anyone. Like they were allowing like 50 points to Utah.
And Rafa and I saw it in person on the 50-yard line, 15 feet. We're like, bro, like they got dudes from Narbonne and St. Paul and like Westlake, Harvard.
They had
like,
really
bro,
small guys.
like
it was Eddie. You're so disrespectful,
dude.
Bro, it was bad.
Camarillo, there's like a DB from Camarillo.
They had like 1-star guys on defense. Like, bro, that defense was.
It looked like Halloween. There was like a 4'11" Armenian with the big calves and hairy with the number 47.
A factual fucking statement, by the way.
How did he get on the field? How did that dude get on the field for USC?
100%. No, hey, listen, let me make it clear. Let me fucking just make it clear. No offense to Armenian people.
I love Armenian people.
We do offend here a lot of fucking races and nationalities.
We love you, Patrick Bet David.
we love
Yeah.
everybody and we talk shit
He's
about everyone the same.
he's Iranian.
But I know what.
He's
But
Armenian
I know.
too.
And I know what Eddie was talking. Dude, we saw it firsthand. That defense,
I
that
was like-
USC defense, that had to be the smallest, slowest, the worst shit you ever seen in your life.
Dude, they
So-
ran a 6'3", 185-pound dude at middle linebacker.
But I
We're
will
like,
tell you
bro.
this: Caleb's offense had more weapons than Cam Ward.
Factual.
I think that.
is true.
Jordan Addison.
That is true.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Jordan Addison. They had fucking Jerry Rice's son. They had Mario Williams. They had a lot of dudes.
A lot of
They had a
dudes.
lot of dudes.
Great
For
running
sure.
back. Got drafted.
Let's go on to the next game.
Yeah.
I think Cam Ward is a better running back.
Oh my gosh, Eddie.
Number one receiver. I'm just saying.
Fucking rumbling.
I'm just
No
saying.
disrespect. No disrespect to Miami receivers.
Now we got Eddie's favorite college coach in the land playing against potentially his future team, Michigan.
Dog.
Going.
This is
just
America's coach.
based off Eddie's.
Dude. Dog.
Michigan going up against number 8 Indiana. Indiana minus 14 with over under 49.5.
Before you say it,
I-
Rava, Indiana's dropping them nuts on Michigan. dropping them nuts. Fuck, bah, right here. Fucking nuts. Right in their forehead. This game is fucking boom.
Eddie says Indiana's gonna put the fuck to Michigan on
There
fucking
you go.
Saturday.
There
Dude,
you
I
go.
want no part of this game. I fucking can't stand fucking that Indiana's somehow good. Like, dude,
Rafa, you're such a fucking hater.
I'm sorry, bro. I can't. That they're somehow good. Like,
Explain
I
it.
can't.
Explain yourself.
they
I-
have
you just-
the teams that they've played against are fucking. Their strength of schedule is 101. And I know you only play the teams that are put in front of you. Yes, but bro, like Pitt was undefeated last week, and they
Okay.
played against. I'm just saying, I don't have any respect for Indiana until they beat somebody of a
their
university
margin
that
of
I know where they're
victory is like
located.
Their margin of
30.
victory is like 17 points or something like that.
No,
like
it's
insane.
bigger.
Like they're
Pull up some stats on CJ. Give me some stats on fucking this garbage ass.
bro.
Indiana
I'll tell you.
squad.
I heard a stat.
Give me
I heard,
some stats on these.
I heard a stat that Indiana hasn't played from behind
It's-
all year.
They're
Like,
20. They
Indiana's-
have the number one average scoring margins, 27.8, only behind Texas at 26 and Ohio State at 25.8.
They're winning games by 27 fucking points.
CJ
And by the way,
way,
they whooped on Nebraska's ass
They
in
did whoop on
Nebraska.
They did whoop on
in Nebraska. I think and
Home-
Nebraska came off the bye week, and all the
By the
busing
way-
boys, the boys that bus were fucking there, and all that shit.
All the whole nine.
what makes this more impressive is that their home and away splits are exactly the same, 27.7 point margin of victory, both home and
Man.
away. Texas and Ohio State. Texas
me
home is
something,
31,
Indiana.
but away is 17. Ohio
Show me
State at home
something,
is
Indiana.
34, away is
They
12.
did.
I'll tell you
Eddie.
something. I'll tell you something.
did.
If Indiana loses one game,
And
Guess
they're
who's
going
not
to
in
lose
the
this game.
fucking
They're going to lose.
guess who's not in the fucking playoff? Because Indiana with 101 of a fucking their 101st ranked schedule so far. If they lose this game, they out the top 12.
You know what
Eddie,
sucks,
we just
CJ?
shoot it.
You know what sucks, CJ? Is they're gonna kick Michigan's ass, and it's the same argument. They still haven't seen anybody.
Still
'Cause
haven't played
Michigan
anybody.
fucking sucks.
Sucks dick.
Michigan sucks, dude. Fuck. Although they were in that game last week and fucking Oregon backdoored a touchdown with 25 seconds. That
For no
was
fucking
so-
reason. For no reason.
For no reason. No reason at all. 25 seconds left. Fucking Oregon scores a touchdown to cover, by the way. So
Can we talk about the coach though? Like the coach is just bad. Like,
He did an interview. He did an interview at the beginning of the season when he first got to Indiana with that dude. He's a white coach. He used to coach. Now he's like a TikTok guy. He's a tight end, coached at Arizona State, played for Penn State, and he went through the kind of kids that he's looking for and what his program's about. And the dude, he has like most great coaches in college, he has a plan. He has a specific type of player that he is looking for, and he's not winging it, man. There's a reason JMU, that no one ever fucking heard of, went almost undefeated last year. He's a winner with a plan. And by the way, I believe he's a disciple of a certain coach named Saban. So
Correct.
if you look at the lineage and the tree, he's just not, pulling shit out of his ass. He is a direct Kirby Smart. I mean, think about that coaching tree that Nick Saban. He's one of them. You look at Rafa. Rafa's like his things.
Dude, it's about Mario Cristobal, Nick Saban, and like Lane Kiffin, Steve. Like you can keep going.
You could leave off Cristobal. That ruined the argument right there.
Yeah, you killed it. Jimbo Fisher, you can remove his ass too.
No, but
Jimbo out that motherfucker.
Yeah, no,
good for him. Listen, beat somebody that I know where the college is located, and we might.
Lincoln,
I might start
Nebraska, sold out for fucking 65 years in a row.
Maryland,
which they were,
Maryland.
Were dogs.
Ooh, they getting them dubs, huh? Woo, Maryland.
They embarrassed USC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But speaking of them dogs, though, we got number 3 Georgia favored by 2.5 going into number 16 Ole Miss over under 55 SEC showdown.
Give me Georgia. I love Georgia, man. I love Georgia, dude. I think it's because Ole Miss is just faded for me quick, man. Fading quick.
They just scored like Arkansas.
They just scored
60.
But
yeah.
I'll give you a little stat. I'll give you a little stat, Rafa. And listen, Ole Miss struggles to run the ball, which you're not going to do anyways against Georgia, right? Ole Miss's strength is throwing the ball downfield. Now, Carson Beck, who you guys know I'm not a fan of, has thrown 3 picks in his last 2 games. Okay. And,
I think he threw 3 picks in his last game.
In the last 2. Last game and the one prior.
Really? Yeah.
Yes. That's 6 interceptions. 6 interceptions in the last 2 games, Carson Beck. Now, on the other side of that, and now CJ, please help me out. Quarterback from Ole Miss.
Jackson Dart.
Well, how I forget that name, I don't know. He's thrown 3 picks the entire season, and that dude throws the ball downfield. Yeah. Now, Kirby Smart, great coach, ton of talent. But my issue with Georgia, Rafa, is the quarterback position. And that's the only issue I have. Now, how many times is he going to get away with having 3 interceptions, turnovers against, Lane Kiffin shines, and this team can throw the ball. This team can throw the ball down the field.
And this is not Nick Saban.
It's still Georgia. Right. It's still Kirby. Give me the dogs, baby. Zach said, what's to love about Georgia? Fucking Kirby Smart is what's to love about Georgia. Georgia's defense is what's to love about Georgia. That's what's to love about Georgia.
That's the wrong question, though, Rafa. I agree with everything you said. The question is, what's to hate about Georgia? What's the downfall? And it's the quarterback position.
We'll see. I mean, he's played bad and they've won. They've won, right?
Have they not won? See. We saw.
Dude, they've won. They've won. They've literally won. Like they went out the second half last week and just completely stopped Florida in the second half.
Florida had their backup in though.
Okay. Well, in the second half of the Bama game, it was a completely different game. In the second half of the Bama game, what they did to Texas was just an absolute fucking ass whooping. That then the refs gave some random bullshit play after they fucked up and a whole shit show and almost let Texas back in the game. So I like Georgia, blue chip Georgia -2.5. I still think Georgia's a top 2 team in the country.
Oh my God.
Bro, CJ, I watched the game, okay? I didn't watch it live, but I love to watch it on YouTube where you get all the plays. Carson Beck had like 60 yards passing, on what? On jet sweep pitches to the fucking running back.
Oh, no. Are we doing a rock with Carson Beck?
Dude, literally a 2-yard fucking pitch on a fucking jet sweep twice, or else he would have been.
I'm not talking
3
about
of 8. 3 of 8. I know you're not.
I'm talking about Georgia. I'm talking about Georgia. That's all I'm saying. It's Georgia. It's Georgia going into Ole Miss.
Are the quarterback for Georgia, bro?
But I'm just saying, Georgia -2.5 is a great spot to take the best team that I think is the second best team in the country at -2.5. Give me the dogs.
You know what, Rafa? Now I know why you buy so many Mercedes, because you're a brand guy.
Ah,
And you know what? And the thing is that Rafa has had so much trouble with Mercedes-Benz. He's at the fucking Mercedes-Benz dealer more than fucking the mechanics over there because he's always at fucking Mercedes because it's a brand. Mercedes brand, great brand, but they have fucking issues. Same thing with fucking Georgia, Mercedes brand. This fucking model sucks. There's engine issues. There's fucking driver assist issues.
You know what?
That's
When the check-in, the problem is, Eddie, with the difference with Georgia is that when the difference with Georgia is when the check engine light turns on in the first half, the mechanic at halftime makes the adjustments where then the fucking car gets out on the field, on the fucking track, and it just rolls right through.
You know what
Georgia's proving it.
You're a fucking car that you are a motherfucker that likes overrated cars. That's your problem. You like overrated fucking cars.
Dude, I'm just they're not overrated. They look at the first half against Clemson, the season opener, they played terrible. In the second half, they came out and they put the fuck to Clemson. And actually, if you can pull it up, Eddie Money, what is Georgia? And I don't know if you can find it. What is Georgia record in the second half against the spread? They covered against Bama. They covered against Clemson. They covered last week against Florida. The only one I don't remember them covering the second half was against Kentucky. So
I'll say this, and when as you get later into the season, I'm just as a former player, if you're a team that chooses halves, right, and you're going later into the season, there is going to get to a point where you're going to meet somebody at a crucial point where there is no choosing halves. There is no coming back. There is no adjusting. You're going to have to come out, start strong, and finish strong. If you choose a half to just take off or be Georgia, you might just find yourself in a deficit that you can't come back from. And that's a reality that a lot of teams who choose halves face.
I will say this. Carson Beck has had better second halves. His first halves, garbage. But he's played well.
That might be game plan, though.
Go ahead and throw 3 interceptions
like
in the first half?
That might be different.
I understand what he's saying.
They got to make an adjustment there at the end. But the thing is that Georgia is still, at the end of the day, the number 3 ranked team in the country, going against Ole Miss later in the season. And I believe that when a team like that, like when you watch the Chiefs play, and I'm going to go into the Chiefs. Yes, Eddie Money, I'm going into the Chiefs. When you watch the Chiefs play, they do usually what is needed to win the game, right? I feel like Georgia is doing the same shit. They got the thing about the Bama game is that Bama was so far ahead. Georgia still came back and took the lead. The defense just couldn't make a stop there at the end of the game. So
you want to bring up this Chiefs bullshit? Don't ever put Carson Beck in the same breath.
I'm not talking about Carson Beck. I'm talking about the team. Like literally, and I can give 3 fucks about Carson Beck because I think he's garbage. But the team, CJ, Georgia is ranked number 3. Carson Beck is not ranked number 3. Fucking Georgia is ranked number 3. Give me the Georgia Dogs. Roo, roo, roo. -2.5. Let's fucking go. Dog pound, baby.
Unbelievable.
You want to put money on
Has he? Yeah, I do. I would.
By the way, all right, hold on real quick. Hold on. Rick Flores says, oh, if I do recall, Rafa was all about Texas at the beginning of the season. I never said, listen, I said Texas would go undefeated until the title game. And you can go all the way back. CJ can pull it up for you. I said Texas would go undefeated to the title game and lose to Georgia in the SEC title game. I didn't know that Georgia was going to beat them so early in the fucking season. But I always thought that Georgia was going to win the SEC. That is documented well, and we have it, and we'll clip it for you, Rick. And we can, if you think I'm wrong, we'll bet a box of grandmas on it.
Woo!
Send them to
high stakes there. High stakes.
Are we betting on this game, Eddie?
You want to do a cut bet on this game?
Yeah, I'll take Georgia -2.5.
I will take Jackson Dart. I wish I could take Jackson Dart over 332 yards passing because
you can. You want to do that?
Yeah. What's the over under on Jackson Dart? We have to.
It ain't 332. I'll tell you that shit. It's got to be 260 something.
I just think Ole Miss is not. They're not going to be able to run the ball well. I believe
they have a phenomenal receiver, by the way.
I believe that Lane Kiffin is smart enough to understand we're not going to establish a run. We're not going to do. I believe he's going to play to his strengths and really, just air it out.
We'll see.
But we get.
Let me see.
We'll
Zach
think
says,
about
"What's to love about Georgia?" Like Zach, they beat the shit out of Texas, who was ranked number 5, and at the time was the best team in the country. Like that's what's to love about Georgia.
Okay, Jackson Dart's over under is 272.5.
That's what I thought. I thought 277, but yep, yeah, 332 is a big ass number, Eddie.
Well, are you willing to cut over? I'll take the over.
No, I'll take Georgia. I'll take Georgia. I think I don't know about the yards. I'll take Georgia minus 2.5.
You know what?
So
Fuck it. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this on cut, Rafa. I'm tired. I'm tired of all the bullshit. I'm tired of the Georgia brand. I'm tired of the SEC love, although Ole Miss is in the SEC as well. I believe that Ole Miss and our old friend Lane Kiffin, the funny, sarcastic comedian, is going to beat your visor-wearing, freaking redneck, freaking BS offensive bullshit, ugly-ass quarterback who better not be drafted in the first round and better not go to my fucking team. I just hope Ole Miss kicks their ass, and I'm going to go with them. I'm going to go with Ole Miss this week to beat the dogs. Like 2. Give me the 2.5, though. Give me the 2.5.
All right. So Eddie's got 2.5. I'll cut.
I'm no stupid.
KUTT, download the app. Okay, keyword in here. When you create your account, keyword will pop up on the bottom. That's your code for a 10% deposit bonus. I will take Georgia minus 2.5 at Ole Miss. Eddie's taking Ole Miss Rebels plus 2.5. Let's go, dogs.
Do we know what unis are? Oh, I feel like Ole Miss is going to come out with some fire ass fucking unis.
Baby blue. You got to come out baby blue helmet, white pants.
I mean,
and Georgia will come out in traditional red and leave those blue jerseys all bloodied up and fucked up because the dog coming through. By the way, it's so great that in the SEC we get these great matchups every week, man.
And there's another one coming down. I mean, there's another one this week that I can't wait to talk about.
All right, let's get to some more games. Is that what they're doing this weekend?
They're doing.
They're gonna go red.
America, bitch.
Wow, man. Ooh, I like it.
Look at that. America. How can you go against those unis, Rafa? Come on,
man. Go dogs.
Our next game we have fallen Clemson, number 23, minus 6.5 going against Virginia Tech, over under of 53.
Tebow was out of his element last week. He was out coached. He was out everything in that game.
Bro, that freshman running back from Louisville, I heard he runs close to a 4.2. He showed that he's just not fast. He could run the rock. And I didn't see that coming. I feel, we put that clip out about Clemson making the playoffs. You had obviously said that before Clemson got, kind of beat up a little bit. That game.
They got dominated at home.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaking game.
And Virginia Tech's played well. I'd stay away from this game. Virginia Tech hasn't. CJ liked Virginia Tech early in the year. They started off bad. They lost to Vandy. We didn't know Vandy was going to be this good. So,
yeah. and it's in Blacksburg. Enter Sandman. That place gets hyped. One of the best college entrances in all of college football. Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as to take Virginia Tech with even 6.5, but I wouldn't touch this game. I would agree with you, Rafa.
Hard pass, baby. Let's go on to the next one.
Next game, we're looking for a bounce back for Army. They still won, but not comfortably, or in a good fashion at least. I feel like Army's favored by 5.5 going against North Texas, over under 63.5.
This is a tough game, by the way. This is a tough game for Army. North Texas quarterback is one of the top 3 passers in the country. They score points. This one, I like the over here, 63.5. Keep an eye on the over. I like that. I think it's a tough game here for Army going on the road.
For sure. I think North Texas has a woman kicker. There used to be a supermodel. They have Sinbad at left tackle. And a 41-year-old at quarterback.
Unnecessary roughness.
These guys have no idea what we're talking about.
They didn't know about the armadillos, Ed.
No, they
They
don't
didn't
know
know
about
about the
armadillos, man.
armadillos.
Yes.
Come on, man. They're too young.
Allie McPherson. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
man.
oh,
They're too young, man. They're too young. Unnecessary roughness. You guys need to watch it. It's an underrated football comedy.
Yes.
But keep an eye on this game. Army is a tough game for Army. I really do think so. I think it's gonna be a tight game. But we'll see if Army's quarterback hopefully is back. If he's not back, they're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. All right, then we got Rafa's favorite team, number 20 Colorado, getting that ranked in. Minus 3.5 going into Texas Tech, who just upset. And then they're over under 62.5.
They beat Iowa State, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Texas Tech. They beat Iowa State. They played tough. They beat Arizona. I mean, Arizona just went to shit.
A number 11 in the country, Iowa State.
Yeah,
which looked weird. Didn't look
well. Yeah, and they had a close call against Central Florida. They were down the whole game and barely won the end.
That's right.
So I'm not touching this game right here. Texas Tech, Colorado coming off the bye. So we'll see. We'll see how good they play this week on the road. Texas Tech, they're going to be so fired up in Lubbock for this game. I mean, this is going to be their game.
Zach's asking you not to do it.
Zach wants me to. He goes, Rafa and I got Tech. You know where our heart is, Zach. You know where our heart is, baby. You know where our heart is. But no, I'm staying away from this game. We might sprinkle a little something on Texas Tech, though. Zach is right. So yeah, just a little something. But I think it's gonna be a great watch. This is a must-watch game. Shador and Travis Hunter and against Texas Tech. I think it's gonna be a phenomenal game.
I can't wait to watch. Someone said I saw something today that Deion Sanders primetime was worth the money at Colorado. Yeah, no shit.
Worth every penny. Don't go out on a fucking limb.
I would fire the editor who approved that article. Yeah, and the sky is blue, you dumbass. They literally had won one game. Yeah, of course he's been worth the money. You know, has he outperformed what we thought? I would say yes at this point.
Yes.
I would say that Deion has proven, you know, in a weak Big 12, but you know, he still has major issues. But I had to eat some crow earlier. Shador is playing well.
Shador's playing well.
Why the fuck is Rafa making faces?
I'm just, whatever.
Can I just say this real quick so I can say I got it out? Because I said in a post, and I got hammered for it, that Shador Sanders is not a first-round pick.
You did say that.
In this draft, and maybe the last
not
last year.
But
maybe next year. Shador is worthy of a first-round pick. 100%. I was 100% wrong. I apologize to Shador Sanders and Deion. I know they've been waiting for that because I know Deion keeps receipts. It's way in that Rolodex. It's
it's just down there.
You can keep that one and throw it out.
Dude, this game's so good. I think this game's going to be one of the 3 best games of the weekend. I think 100%. It's going to be super fucking exciting. I think it's going to be phenomenal. And if Texas Tech wins, they're storming that fucking field.
But
does Zach stamp their approval
guess
on
what?
that?
Guess what? The Bucs are in the running for that Big 12 championship, baby. And the rest of the Big 12 just did their due diligence to help them do it. I don't know a team on a bye week that accomplished more from not playing.
Facts. You know what? Can we pull this up? Can we pull up their next 4 games, the last 4 games, and see what it looks like? Because if they went out and BYU loses,
Colorado,
they have a shot to get in, man. There's a long shot. But if they went out and some crazy shit happens and Deion makes it to those playoffs, woo, he's in trouble, man. Oh, that's so tiny. Someone read that out because I can't see.
Oh, they got on the road to Texas Tech this week. Then they go to Utah, and Utah, we know Utah's been absolutely
home in Utah.
Yeah, they go to Texas Tech this week. They get Utah at home. They go to Kansas, which is not a cakewalk, and then they get Oklahoma State at home. That is
not a cakewalk.
Not a cakewalk either, but Oklahoma State's last in the Big 12, so they're 0-6 in the Big 12.
What do you think, Rafa? What do you think? Odds on winning out and odds on sneaking in.
Can you pull up real quick BYU schedule? Just real quick. I just want to see who BYU's got. Because BYU is you could have just clicked on the there you go.
Now can they see each other in the Big 12?
But they need another Iowa State loss.
Okay.
So but BYU goes to Utah this weekend. Then they get Kansas at home, Arizona State on the road, and they get Houston at home. So kind of the difficulty of both schedules, I think, is we're pretty close.
Very, very similar. But Arizona State
sneak. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Watch out for
but I can
Scum Devils.
BYU, if they lose, that'll be their first loss in the Big 12. Where are they going to be in the rankings there in the Big 12, right? So, I think it's still a little bit of an uphill climb they still need a little bit of help for Colorado. But they got to get this game out of the way first this week.
Yeah.
Texas Tech isn't a cakewalk. Oh, yeah. They've played well, and they're at home. And so we'll see how the Red Raiders, hopefully they got Patrick Mahomes back there. Let's go on to the next.
Zach approves this message.
I love it,
that's
Zach.
what I was waiting for. Did you guys know that Baker Mayfield was Patrick Mahomes' host at Texas Tech? Like, those dudes, they have history, man. They have crazy history. Like Baker Mayfield doesn't. I think he has a winning record against him in college, and he's 0-3 or 0-4 of them in the NFL. But like Baker Mayfield, when they met each other, him and Patrick, at the overtime coin flip, like those dudes, I think Baker sees himself as a peer, 100%. Like, dude, I remember when you were fucking 18, you picking your nose, and I got you laid at the fucking bar in fucking Texas, in Lubbock.
He's an angel.
Unbelievable.
Going into another great game of the week. Number 11, Alabama, favored by a field goal going into number 15, LSU, over under 58.5.
What time is this game at?
4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern.
Oh my God. Saturday night in Death Valley. What a fucking
drunk
game.
mother flowers. You thought
Dude,
that Georgia the cops better be getting in their jiu-jitsu and boxing fucking lessons because there'll be some drunk motherfuckers in this fucking stadium, man.
Some drunk Southern motherfuckers.
What a game.
Yeah, bro.
Must win game for both teams, obviously. But what a game's gonna be. Dude, I don't like the Bama coach, man, but I'm gonna have to do it. Give me the Tide, -3. I'm gonna take the Tide. I'm gonna take Eddie's boy, Jalen Milroe, to not fuck me one more time this week. Pause. No Diddy. Maybe Diddy. Whatever. Jalen Milroe and Bama, -3, blue chip. Eddie, you like LSU or you like Bama?
No, I like Bama, and I'll tell you why I like Bama. Texas A&M ran the ball up and down the field in LSU. LSU cannot stop the run, and they haven't been able to stop anything, actually. I mean, the quarterback, that's Meyer, whatever. Oh God, he's great. That dude could sling the ball. That dude is a really, really good quarterback. But that's not going to be the issue here. The issue is going to be LSU's defense, and Jalen Milroe will have 75 yards plus rushing. If DeBauer, can see the train coming down the tracks, he needs to control the clock, keep number 16, Nussmeier, whatever the fuck his name is, off the field, and run the rock. And also because that Alabama defense is garbage. So you got to get TOP. This has to be a TOP game for Jalen Milroe and Alabama. You're in one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult place to play in college football at night. There's going to be bourbon and whiskey shots everywhere. Girls are going to be drunk. It's going to be a shit show. The tiger might get out and start fucking eating people. I mean, they might let the tiger out. I don't know. It's going to be awesome. It's a must watch. This is a play-in game. If there ever was a play-in game, this is a play-in game for the playoffs. And
I think sorry to cut you off. I think here on out, Bama being in the 11th spot and then knowing that they already have that spot and they're the only ones that can lose it. They can't. If they just win out, they're going to lock it in. It's a playoff game for them every week from here on out. For them.
I mean, yeah, I agree. But I mean, I don't know what the rest of the schedule is. This is classic SEC. I mean, remember this was game of the century twice. You know what's 4, 5, 6 years ago.
9-6 game one time, didn't we? Yeah. We got like an ugly one.
Yeah, I mean, this is if I would ever want to go. If I would ever want to go to a SEC game, I would want to go to Death Valley, and I would want to see LSU play Alabama. Like that's
your number one game in the SEC.
Yeah, you know what, Georgia. To me, Georgia's been good since Kirby. Georgia was good 25 years before that. Georgia wasn't very good for a very long time. LSU and that tiger eye on the 50, and they mark every yard. The 5, 10,
I love that shit.
I love that.
I love that. Yeah.
It's just, and I hope they come out with the white helmets. You know, like I said, I hope they let the tiger out and eat the Alabama cheerleaders. Let's really get a show going here.
So we don't listen. We don't
approve Matt eating tigers. That's not.
We don't approve death to anyone. But
it's called Death Valley.
If a cheerleader gets bit by a tiger running around on Saturday night,
put that shit on Ed.
Put that shit on Ed.
Go Tigers.
Must watch 4:30 Pacific time. Alabama at LSU. Roll Tide -3, baby. Let's go.
Can't wait.
What else we got on the plate?
We got number 9 BYU favored by 4 going into Utah, over under 40.5.
BYU is not getting the respect they deserve from Vegas.
I agree.
The line the other day went from -2 to +2. Was crazy, and they fucking annihilated Central Florida on the road. And so, dude, BYU coach, quarterback. I mean, the motherfuckers they're all like 30 years old.
27-year-old right tackles.
Yeah, Vegas is just waiting for them to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Vegas doesn't see them as Zach. By the way, yes, Georgia Bama money line parlay. Zach, do it.
Throw in BYU.
So BYU, I feel like Vegas. Vegas has their own power rankings that they put out every week, and there, you can find them if you know where to look. And dude, I think they have BYU not even closely ranked to what these guys have them, if I'm not mistaken. They don't respect BYU at all. I like BYU, and Utah's played like shit. They played really bad, like really, really bad. But it's at home, so I like BYU in the spot. I like BYU -4. BYU, I think will make a statement yet again this week.
Can I put my tinfoil hat on for everybody? I have a theory. Behind what we just talked about, that Vegas does not respect BYU. If there's a Netflix or HBO where this community of Mormons and like very strict Mormons, there's a group of young girls that try to escape, and they all take them to Vegas. There is a Vegas and Utah, like they think hell is literally in Las Vegas. There is a 100% rivalry of people from Utah and Vegas. And the people that escaped this thing, they were picked up and they were all brought to Vegas. I said it was a tinfoil hat type thing, but it's a thing. I'm just saying it's a thing. People.
I want to say, go ahead. Ed.
No, I'm just saying that people from Utah hate Vegas, which in turn, people from Vegas hate Utah.
Watching listening to you today, the things you said on the show, I know 100% who you voted for yesterday. Even though you didn't vote, I know who you voted for.
You would.
I know
it. You could never.
The shit you throwing out there today, Ed, it's all right. I bleed red like you, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, bleed.
They
I
play
like
other
Utah.
bets just like we do.
I like BYU. Let's go BYU, baby.
That sums up college football.
Good.
The rest of the games are just blowout games.
Yeah. Good call.
So if you guys are ready to turn into NFL,
Ed, you need a break or you're good?
I need a minute and 22 seconds, man.
All right. Well, Ed, you want to just go to the bathroom and we'll chat about
Yeah, you
whatever?
guys just go. You guys just go.
No, so we won't start the NFL. We'll so real quick, since we were finishing college. Who's the team that can move the most this weekend in the playoff? Who do you think?
I'm sorry, my fat ass head. I'm sorry, Rafa. I'm sorry not to answer your question immediately, but Eddie put this 3-way camera and my shit was like right here.
Oh my
I was
god!
like all up in the shit. I have to.
You
back
got
my
8
ass up.
eyes.
Right. I have to back my ass up. I'm sorry. Okay. What was your question?
Who do you think moves the most after this weekend in the playoff of the teams? What do you think?
Oh, I think the team that moves the most, and I think that this team is not getting any respect because they went down from their last ranking, was the Army Black Knights. I think the Army Black Knights win, and I think that they move more. I think the playoff committee, as we're starting to get into these playoffs, starts to give Army that true respect and starts to put them in that high teens, low teens spot.
Okay. Eddie Money, you know anybody? You thinking of anybody?
No, because Eddie Money's a college football. He don't watch college football. That's his fucking problem.
What? That's all I decided was sit down. I just don't know off the top of my head.
I think if Indiana wins, sorry, Eddie Money, I'll tell you real quick.
Go ahead.
I think if Indiana wins, I think they flop with Tennessee at 7. Because I think Tennessee's off, and Michigan isn't. Michigan's bad because we've seen them, be bad, and they haven't done shit. They were in the game at Oregon for a little bit. I mean, and in a game is only down 14 for them, I guess. But I think if Indiana smokes them, I think they move up. They can move up to 7 and just drop back Tennessee just because they're idle. But anybody else, like even if Georgia beats Ole Miss, are you moving Georgia to
LSU? LSU, I think, if they win, if they beat Bama, you can presumably put it like this.
They'll take the 11.
They'll take but put it like this: if LSU wins, and let's say BYU and Indiana lose, that's it's possible. It's probably not going to happen, but say they lose, they could probably jump up to 7 or 8.
Yeah, BYU. If BYU loses, they're still going to be, I think, the number 1 in the Big 12. But so they'll still be in the 4, but in the rankings, they're probably going to drop right below whatever Iowa State is, like 13 or 14 or whatever.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I was either going to say LSU because if they win, they basically eliminate Alabama from playoff, and my second team would have been Colorado. Depending on how well, if they do win this game, how well they win this game, I think they could bump up like 3 to 4 spots in a week.
Just the teams though in the playoffs. I think if we just take then like Bama, LSU, Bama, Georgia, etc. Like I think the only one that can move closer is Indiana with a win, and then obviously if the teams lose, I'm talking about if any of those teams win.
Yeah, I get you. It's a hard question to answer that though, Rafa, is because as I'm looking at it right now, there's only one team in the top 25 that isn't buying in for a playoff spot at this moment, and that's Louisville. Like everybody else, Washington State is also not. But everybody else, for the most part, in some way, is still looking at it like, oh, I can get into the playoff.
Let's play hypothetical real quick. Ole Miss beats Georgia. Where are we going with Georgia? Because and what are you doing with Ole Miss?
That's a hard question again, because what happens everywhere around them? We're looking at Indiana, we're looking at BYU, looking at Boise State. Like if all those teams, if we're taking it as if all those teams above them are winning, then
presume that. I would. That's why
let's presume everyone wins, but Georgia loses.
Georgia will be in 7-8.
Yeah,
7 with 2 losses. You'd think Georgia would be still 7 or 8.
Yes, because all those other teams they'd replace Tennessee.
Because Tennessee still doesn't have a top 25 win, I don't believe.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. It's a bold statement. So you think Georgia with 2 losses still win?
Yeah, because Georgia with 2 losses has a top 25 win, which Tennessee does not. Indiana does not. The only team that does is BYU.
Wow. All right. Well, it's going to be an exciting time for college football. Every Tuesday is the playoff, and we're going to try and figure out a way so we can cover college football on a different night, hopefully on Tuesdays nights, but we'll let everyone know. But Eddie's back, so let's get into some NFL.
I'm back,
Right.
baby.
The most exciting thing to happen in the NFL right now is currently the race for last place and the Tankathon.
Dude,
Eddie is
teams
absolutely thrilled.
Bro, how crazy is this? How crazy? I mean, Rafa talked about it on Yappin. I don't know if I've ever seen this many 2-loss teams.
There are nine 2-loss teams.
It's
Dude,
insane.
it's bad, bro. Dude, we have 14 teams, by the way, with above 500 records. 14. So less than half the league has a winning record.
This
It's bad. You saw Dak. You saw what he said on the sideline. He goes, "We fucking suck."
we fucking suck.
Damn.
And Dak, I don't know if you guys saw his comment after the game. Like he's like, "Oh, I don't know I don't know how long it's going to be before I come back." Basically, is what he said. And you know what that meant? That meant was like, dude, I'm not even trying to come back at this point.
I'm not trying to play.
I'm not trying to play. And so, but I mean,
Can we say this? Rafa, can we say this? It was only you that felt good about this. You and Jerry Jones. Like,
dude, I did. I did.
No one else was like, they didn't do fucking shit. You brought back Zeke Elliott. Like,
no,
like
I know the running game's a problem.
Like, it was back to the fucking future, man. Like,
no, you're right. I fucked up on the Dallas pick, but I thought their defense was going to be better. I thought the offense was going to be phenomenal. And what they did the first week against the Browns, like we didn't know the Browns defense was not going to be what they were last year because they're definitely not that. But I mean, Dallas has just been, they haven't won a game at home, by the way.
Wow.
Like they're 0-for at home. They have 3 wins on the road. They haven't won a game at home. They lost at home to the Ravens. That was in week 3. They lost
to the
week
Saints.
2.
Was Saints?
They lost. They got their ass whooped by the Saints. They got their ass whooped by the Ravens. Even though they lost by 3, trust me, I was there. That shit was 28-3 at like 14-minute mark of the fourth quarter. And then they lost. They lost at home to somebody else. They're 0-3 at home. I'm like 99% sure of that shit. So, and they have 3 wins on the road.
Honestly, it feels like there's 3 like good teams in the NFL: Chiefs, Ravens, and the Lions. Like, what is the next echelon? Like, what? Commanders, Redskins.
You don't throw the
Buffalo?
Lions in there.
No,
yeah,
Lions.
no, he said the Lions.
No.
He said the Lions.
Oh.
Lions, Ravens, and Chiefs. And then I feel like
I got the Bills, Eddie. You got
The Bills
Buffalo.
are there, unfortunately.
Yeah. But
But
I feel like,
dude, it's all sorts of bad quarterback play, bad coaching. I mean, it's a lot of shit on when you watch some of these games.
and what's worse is teams that you didn't think at the beginning of the season would be in the market for a quarterback are 100% in the market for a quarterback. You have the Saints now in the market for the quarterback. You have the Colts now in the market for a quarterback. The Panthers,
the Seahawks.
the Panthers are now in the market for a fucking quarterback. You know, obviously,
still will argue that the Seahawks are not in the market for a quarterback.
Are you fucking kidding me? I watched that entirety of that game last week, and I've never seen dude. I hate the Seahawks. Just so you know.
I know.
I hate the entire fucking city, the whole fucking 9. Dude, watching Geno Smith try and play quarterback, dude, it's got off. I mean, it's like I'm watching Jameis Winston. It was the same. It was same.
Oh, don't do that to Geno.
bro, you didn't
Are you
see that
kidding me?
throw? You didn't see that throw to Njimba? I mean, come on, man. He
had great throws. His interceptions, Eddie, his interceptions inside of the 10-yard line are unforgivable.
Okay.
Like those are mistakes that he could have made with the Jets the first couple of years. Like you cannot make those mistakes at this stage in your career after taking your team to the playoffs 2 years ago. Like, dude, those mistakes, those are mistakes for backups. Those are mistakes for rookies. Second-year quarterbacks. Not for you cannot make that mistake. And listen, he put a hell of a drive together to win the game. By the way, to tie the game. That drive that he put together to tie the game, the Rams dropped an interception. They dropped an interception in the man's chest, and he dropped it. So he was god awful.
Geno Smith leads the league in passing yards.
Wonderful. He leads. I'll tell you what he leads. Interceptions inside the fucking 7-yard line, because he had 2. Dude, they were bad. That's the thing. They were just bad interceptions. If you watch them, one of them, he just throws it. And it's not like he threw it to the back of the end zone. 103-yard interception return for touchdown. 103-yard pick 6. Bro, it was that bad. The dude just caught it like, oh, shit, you're throwing me the ball? And then the other one was off a release from the tight end, where the tight end doesn't release, and he just throws it there. Like, it was bad. It was watching Jameis Winston in the morning and watching fucking Geno Smith in the afternoon. Same. It was bad. It was bad to watch.
All right,
dude,
well,
I think Seattle's drafting a quarterback.
No, I'll bet you money that they don't. In the first 2 rounds.
Oh, are you kidding? Seattle's drafting a quarterback. I'll put that shit on cut.
I'll put that shit on cut.
I'll put it on cut that the Seattle Seahawks will draft a quarterback next year in the first 2 rounds. The Seattle Seahawks will draft a quarterback in the next 2 rounds. And I'll give you 2-1 odds. I'll tell you that. 2-1 odds.
Beautiful.
Put it on cut. I will take that the Seattle Seahawks will draft a quarterback in the first 2 rounds of the 2025 NFL draft. The Seattle Seahawks will draft a quarterback. Book it.
I think with that hat on, the state of Washington is going to take that bet.
I love it. Get on cut. KUTT. Seahawks. You need a quarterback.
Out of the 9 2-win teams, I'll read all of them out. Who do you think is most likely going to be the number 1, or at least will be in the top 2? So you have currently
Carolina.
The number 1 pick is New England. Number 2 is Jacksonville. Number 3 is the Saints. 4 is Carolina. 5, Cleveland. 6, the Raiders. 7, Giants. 8, Miami. And 9, the Titans.
I think it's Carolina.
Well, I'll tell you who I think the 2 worst teams are, and it's the Raiders and Carolina. And right now, Carolina has a fucking win over the Raiders. So you have to go with the Raiders. How do you not? Okay, New England future. You have a franchise quarterback in the making.
And they play tough, so I think they're going to sneak. I think they're going to sneak some wins in. They play tough.
Saints, talented roster. You fire the coach. You know, Rafa and I always have the same theory on this. When the coach is a problem, guys want to prove to the general manager and the owner, and they want to say, "See, it wasn't us; it was him." They always overperform on the week. Who else was in that group?
The Jaguars. I don't think I think the Jaguars are going to get a couple more wins.
Yes, 100%.
The Giants.
The Browns, Giants,
I think
Dolphins, and Titans.
Dolphins are definitely winning more games. Titans, if Will Levis plays, they're not going to win any more games. If Mason Rudolph plays, they're going to win some games. So I think I disagree with Eddie on the Raiders, because I think the Raiders because I think they're going to win more than I think they're going to win. I think they're going to end up somewhere in like the 4 or 5 spot. I think they can win some games. I think Gardner Minshew's I think he's not good. I don't think he's good. Don't get it twisted. I just think he's capable of winning games. And when you have they have 2 basic stars on that team. One's a rookie, and then the other one is one of the 5 best defensive ends in the league.
3.
So he's 5.
You guys just brought back Raiders just brought back Norv Turner like it was 1991.
Hey, Norv could call plays, Ed. It don't matter what fucking year it is. He can't head coach. Norv can never coach. He can never be a head coach, but he can call plays. Let's see if he can call plays in this fucking decade. But he can call plays.
Bro, how weak is that? So they're gonna give his son, whatever, Steve Turner, whatever the hell his name is, they're gonna give him to play. He called his daddy, like, "Hey, Dad, they're making me offensive coordinator. Can you come help me?" Like, bro, that's fucking crazy. Like if I was whatever Steve Turner, I'd be like, "I got this. I don't need my dad." My dad's been fishing and golfing for the last fucking 9 years. Like the NFL has changed, dude. Norv Turner used to run out with the best offensive line, a fullback, a tight end, and 2 receivers, and 1 Super Bowls in Dallas with that, 12 or whatever personnel that was.
When he was in San Diego, he was a hell of a play caller as well.
True that.
By the way, the Raiders in the last 3 weeks of their schedule, depending how the rest of the season goes, they play the Jags and the Saints. So those will be potentially heavily determining games of top 5 draft situation.
I think the Raiders are better than the other team. I think the Raiders are better than the Panthers. I think the Raiders are better than
Here, I'll go through the 9 teams, and then you say if they're better than not. All right, are the Raiders better than the Patriots?
I'm gonna say no because the Patriots always play hard. I think they play harder, and that I'd say no.
Are they better than the Jags?
No.
No.
Are they better than the Saints?
No.
Nope.
And I only believe that because the Saints fired the coach, and I want to see how they go from here.
Are they better than the Panthers?
I think they are.
Didn't happen on the scoreboard.
And I still think they are.
I mean, there's hard evidence. Yeah, CSI Downey says no. We have
I still
Exhibit
think,
A.
and you got to remember too that Carolina traded away their receiver. They got injuries, and Bryce Young's fucking playing. So
yeah, they traded away both receivers, Mingo and Thielen.
Yeah. So they traded away Johnson too, and Liggett's hurt.
Oh yeah, and Deontay, their whole receiver room.
Yeah, and so
wow.
Are the Raiders better than the Browns?
No.
Hell no.
Are the Raiders better than the Giants?
No.
Are
That
the
one
Raiders
I
better
think
than the Dolphins?
That's
a
tight
closest.
race. I agree, Eddie. That's the closest one.
I think that'll be a phenomenal 10-3 game.
Giants defense is pretty good, man.
Exactly.
Giants defense is pretty good. I just think the Raiders are going to have a couple of more wins. I believe it. I believe it.
Five safeties by Burns and Thibodeau.
Giants?
That's how they scored 10 points. Yes.
Oh shit! I lost you guys.
You see us, Rafa?
We see you. There you go.
There we go. All right, last 2 teams. Are the Raiders better than the Dolphins?
Hell no.
All right. Well, let's get on to the games then.
All right, last one. Are the Raiders better than the Titans?
Yes, 100%. Titans suck if fucking Will Levis is the quarterback.
That might be a case.
Right. All right, let's head into the games of the week. Thursday Night Football, AFC North divisional matchup. Bengals versus the Ravens. Ravens -6, over under, high of 53.
Dude, that's because the last game they played, there was a shitload of fucking points.
Yep. Which I don't think history repeats itself here.
No, me neither. I like the under on Thursday nights.
Same.
I don't like the 6 points. I think that's too much. I love the Ravens, and I love that team. If I had to, they're going to get their shit together and win the Super Bowl. But this is a divisional game with a lot of history, and the coaches know the ins and outs of every player and the offenses and defenses. I think 6 is too much, Rafa. What do you think?
Well, no Zach Moss, and they just traded for who's the running back they traded for?
Khalil Herbert.
They traded for Khalil Herbert from the Bears. I think 6 points too many, but I like the under. I think that game was in Cincinnati. This game's in Baltimore. I think it's going to be a lot of running for the Ravens. Keep Joe Burrow on the sideline there. I like the under. I like under 53. I'm going to blue chip under 53 on Thursday Night Football.
The reason they traded Zach Moss is because they have a baller. That fucking
Zach Moss is hurt.
Well, that running back they have,
Chase Brown.
That dude
he's been on their roster for 3 years. He's just finally getting the opportunity because Joe Mixon got traded.
I love that dude.
I love the under.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I feel like the total should have been somewhere around 46, 47.
We'll see. Eddie, last time they threw a shitload. And this is one of those games. This is the only game where Lamar won that he threw over 22 passes, by the way.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
And then going to the next game, Germany gets a phenomenal game. Giants favored by 6.5. Going against the Carolina Panthers over under 40.5.
Poor Frankfurt.
Dude,
Yeah.
This for the number one seed. This for the
yeah, this is for number one.
This is battles of the two losses.
This is a big game.
Oh man, how bad is Daniel Jones, man? And then how good? I know I say it every week, but Schoen, I believe, is the GM from the Giants. Dude, his son in the clips like, Dad, go get Jaden Daniels, please. You know, like he has to get fired. He has to get fired for that one decision of not going out and choosing Daniel Jones over, the
man
best.
that can hurdle someone backwards.
Yes. I mean, that shit's superhero type shit.
Well, I don't know if he chose Daniel Jones. He had already paid Daniel Jones 2 years ago. He didn't choose Daniel Jones. They just didn't choose to pay fucking Saquon.
To me, it was a clear cut. I felt like that's what it was. I felt that's 100%. You're going to get out of that contract. You're going to sign Saquon for 3 to 4 years. You're going to be out of the Daniel Jones contract in a year.
This year.
I felt like this was a clear cut choice. You know,
I don't know. I don't like this fucking game.
Yes, this is a terrible gift to Germany.
Yeah,
Jesus
sorry, Frankfurt. Thank you for
Fuck
the hot
Germany.
dogs.
Going into the 10 a.m. games for us, we have Josh Allen, the Bills favored by 4, going to Indianapolis. Over under 48. Joe Flacco still leading the Colts.
Ooh, Colts looked bad last week, Rafa. It was ugly.
They did.
That second half was bad for them. I thought
that was a bad second half. Defense played well, but defense didn't even play that well. Sam Darnold just fucking came back to life. That's all that was. Yeah. Fucking bad interceptions by Sam Darnold. That one in the end zone. The other one there after they get a turnover. I mean, that was just all bad on their end. But I like Buffalo. I think they're probably the third best team in the AFC. So I like the Bills here. Not blue chipping it though.
Me too.
-4. Oof.
And then we got, speaking of the devil, Sam Darnold favored by 4.5 against Trevor Lawrence and the Jags with an over under of 45.
Dude, this is another fucking two-win team in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How long do they go before they fire Peterson?
He's on that short list. He's on the short list with AP. Peterson is one. Eberflus. They all can't sit down. Their seat is fucking hot. Hot. But I'll get more into Eberflus when we touch on that game.
Okay, I pass on this game too. Hard pass.
Here we got Steelers going into Washington. Washington's favored by 2.5, over under 45.5.
I love this game.
Me as well. I think this line gives respect to Steelers and their defense, but not enough to Jaden Daniels and that offense.
I'm taking the Steelers. Blue chip the Steelers plus 2.5. Coming off a bye? Are you kidding me? Mike Tomlin off of a bye with, we can say that TJ is probably playing the best of the defensive ends, fellas. I'm sorry. Ed, you want to put something on this game, Ed? I see you shaking your head over there.
I'm shaking my head because of the fucking, I came back from North Carolina. I talked to my Pittsburgh people, and they say the same shit. They say the same shit. And I get everyone's point on Mike Tomlin. I get he's a great coach. But let's look at the body of work. It's fucking average. It's average. And I know he's done a lot with less, but let's not act like he's fucking Nick Saban. He's not Bear Bryant. He's not fucking Lou Holtz. He's averaging 9 wins, over a long period of time. So saying him coming off a bye, he's not an offensive genius. He's not a defensive genius. He's a manager of men. He's a great leader. He's a detail-oriented coach. But he's also the king of fucking average.
Oh man, I love the Steelers. You want to put something on this game, man?
Oh yes, yes, I do want to put something on this game.
All right, I'll take the Steelers plus 2.5.
Okay, I got the Skins. I got the Skins plus 2.5. You have. Oh no!
I'm getting 2.5.
Redskins are favored by 2.5.
Damn. No,
Okay.
yeah, I'll take the Skins. I'll go with
right.
Quinn. I'll go with Quinn and the backwards hat and the T-shirt on the sidelines.
I love that, by the way. The backwards hat. You know I am. I love that shit.
Yeah, I can't stand it. If you're a head coach, defensive coordinator, yes. Quarterback
He
coach,
was
yes.
that. That's who he is. That's who he is.
No, not anymore. He's the fucking leader of an organization. He is the head coach of a $1 billion freaking franchise and brand. You know, you're not changing oil in your fucking driveway. You're not throwing fucking balls at practice. You're the fucking head coach. Put on a collared shirt and fucking wear your hat the right way.
I agree with the collared shirt. That I agree with. So what are we putting on this, Ed?
What do you want, man?
You guys should make this your guys' second cup bet of the week.
Okay.
All right. I'll take the Steelers on cut. Steelers plus 2.5 on cut. KUTT. Download the app. Code 2nobodies. You'll see it down here on the screen. And use that as your first deposit bonus. You get 10%. I have the Steelers plus 2.5. Eddie has the Washington Redskins.
At Bosco Ed, come find me on cut. 2nobodies code. I will take all your action, man, because I believe in Jaden Daniels. I believe that franchise is risen like the phoenix from the ashes. You get rid of maybe the worst owner in professional sports history. And I'm happy for that DC area, man. I'm happy for they have a hardcore fan base, and they've gone through some hard times. And you guys got the right quarterback, and it looks like you got the right coach. And I really and I am not a disciple of Mike Tomlin like a lot of people, and neither are a bunch of people from the city of Pittsburgh, by the way.
I love Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin 13-4 off a bye, by the way.
Let's go Steelers, baby.
We got a divisional rivalry in this next game. Falcons are favored by 4 versus the Saints, over under 46.5.
Are you gonna believe now, Rafa? Are you gonna believe?
You're gonna believe
now?
in the Saints?
Oh,
believe in the Falcons?
Of course.
Well, I think when we did our picks, I had the Falcons winning the South, but we can go back to that. But I'm almost sure.
You also had the Cowboys trouncing the Falcons last week.
I also did. I did have the Cowboys beating the Falcons last week. Saints are going to play their first game without Allen as the head coach, but the only problem is that Derek Carr's still their fucking quarterback. So that is bad. I don't like this division at all. I don't like these divisional games. So I will pass on this game. I do, though, think that Saints are going to play a little bit better than they have.
Yeah. I don't like the 4. I don't like.
Yeah, me neither.
A lot of 4 games this week.
Yeah, right?
We got another divisional game. Broncos going up against the Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 8 with over or under a 41.5.
Dude, the Chiefs don't cover. We said it last week that they weren't going to cover on Monday night. They don't cover. Like they don't put the fuck to teams like they did before. And I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like if they're bored, but they're
if my eyes could roll back, any harder, it would look like a slot machine.
No, I think the Chiefs win the game, but I don't. The Chiefs don't cover. So I mean, they don't do anything to cover. Like
if they win the game.
Yeah, their defense allows the drive to tie the game, and then then they get the ball in overtime and Mahomes goes and wins it. Like that's just how they're gonna play every fucking week. They're not gonna go out and beat teams.
Vegas have the Chiefs high on their power rankings.
Yeah, number 2, right?
Of course.
No, but like you would think that they would shorten up the spreads a little bit, especially for a divisional rivalry.
Yeah, but you know, you got to take into consideration at home, number one, and then on top of that, you know, they're facing a rookie quarterback, and you know, he's susceptible to throwing an interception. That defense is good enough for a pick six or a turnover, you know, something easy for the. Yeah, I can see the Chiefs being up 21-3, and then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, the Broncos put together a field goal and a touchdown, and all of a sudden there's no cover. So
that's fair.
I could see the Chiefs scoring 2 defensive touchdowns, but I have a bigger question, Rafa, and no one has talked about this. If I'm the Tommy eating, you know, I think the best coach in the NFL, I would actually think about sitting Patrick Mahomes this week, man. Like, let that. I'm not kidding. You're undefeated. You're undefeated. You have what's his name at backup? You know, redhead Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz at the backup position. You saw what happened, dude. I mean, all of Missouri held their breath on that.
Did you see the meme?
I thought he popped his Achilles.
Did you see the meme?
Which one?
Dude,
there was a lot.
The meme was good, where they show the video of him, and then he's like, "This man fucking ruptured his Achilles, broke his ankle, hyperextended his knee, and then went to the sideline and fucking Taylor Swift's Black Magic brought him right out onto the field."
I thought it was a hip. I thought it was a hip.
Dude, it looked bad. It looked bad. But
it looked really weird.
Yeah, it looked bad in real time, and when they replayed it looked even worse. But for the reason of them being undefeated is why I don't sit him. Like, you know, if they go into the fourth quarter, and Denver defense has played fucking phenomenal. Like, that's one of the most surprising teams in the league for sure. I think if they have a 2-score or 3-score lead in the fourth quarter at some point, and he's hobbling around a little bit, or he feels any sort of soreness or whatever, then I can see him pulling it. But I think them being undefeated, I think if they would have had a loss already, I think they would sit him this game. But with them being undefeated, I think they're gonna go for it.
Who cares about being undefeated? I would.
Dude, this is all at this point. This is all you need.
Pacheco,
what they've accomplished. Go ahead.
They're not going to go undefeated. Chargers are going to whoop that ass. That's what I think. I think Chargers are in Kansas City. I do think the Chargers are ticking up and on the uprise. But to me, you have Pacheco coming back, not this week, possibly next week. Let Carson Wentz play. Your defense is the best in the NFL.
They didn't look good on Monday night. They didn't look good on Monday night.
True, but you're facing Baker Mayfield. He's a dog, man. He's built for moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
Baker. I just want to. Why anyway, you know I'm going with that. Like, I wish I had.
Yeah.
But
you wish he was a Raider quarterback.
Yes, 100%. I just, if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm erring on the side of get ready. Pacheco's going to come back. Kareem Hunt's been amazing. Your defense has been incredible. Get right. Take a week off. Kansas City, have they already had their bye?
Yeah, they had an early bye, which is why I think if they would have had a loss, I think there'd be no problem to sit Mahomes. I really believe that they feel, and you can kind of see it when you watch them play, like, we're doing shit to get it done. I think they're going to go for it. I think they're going to go for it, Ed. If this team gets to like 11-0, 12-0, oh, baby, fucking 19-0. Actually, it'll be 20-0 this time.
Damn. All right. Speaking of another high-powered team, 49ers -5.5 going against Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. Over under 51. Christian McCaffrey might be returning in this game. Do you think he helps get this team back rolling and
100%
get them into the playoffs?
I think the Niners cover. I'm blue chipping the Niners -5.5 at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay coming off, they're going to get a bunch of questions. I'm sure Todd Bowles is, they've run that situation 100 times already since Monday night. How they didn't go for 2. They're hurt. The Niners are coming off of a bye. They're going to get CMC back. More than likely, he's going to play. From what they said, and so I think the Niners are going to cover. I think the Niners you're gonna see a different Niners team for the next 4 or 5, 6 weeks. I think this is gonna be that team that has at what they've shown. Last year they lost 3 in a row, and then they rolled off all the way to the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
I think this is the week. That they get that going. They won the game before against Dallas, and Dallas coming off a bye, and Dallas hasn't done shit we've seen, but Niners won that game, and now they got their bye, and now they get CMC back, and Debo and all that are going to be in there as well. So I think this is a game where the Niners make a statement.
I like it. I would put CMC on the pitch count. And like you said, that's an emotional loss. Todd Bowles. By the way, has anyone seen Todd Bowles ever open his mouth on the sideline?
Never. He doesn't talk.
It looks like he has to take a shit. He's kind of like doing this the whole fucking game. Like he has a turtle head just on deck, ready to fucking come out. And I've never, ever seen him say nothing. I haven't seen him talk to anybody. It's like, is he a Tesla AI robot?
He's calm and cool. But and by the way, Nick Bosa coming off a Trump win last night. How many sacks is he gonna have this weekend? That man gonna go put in Nick Bosa for over 2 sacks, baby.
Yes, yeah. No, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
I don't know. He has to sack a white quarterback, so he might hold back a little bit.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And Tristan Wirfs is probably one of the best left tackles in the business.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think the Niners are gonna roll. Blue chip Niners -5.5.
All right, next up we got some low scoring games. Drake May and the Patriots playing against Caleb Williams and the Bears. Bears favored by 5 with the over or under of a phenomenal 39.
Dude, I mean the Bears, man. Fuck all the weapons that you gave this kid, and you haven't put it together. On a consistent basis, right? 9 points last week against Arizona. I mean, did you watch any of that game, Ed?
Dude, Kyler Murray sucked. He was horrible.
And they won by 20.
Yeah.
And they won by 20.
Listen, Eberflus has lost this team. Not one guy, not 2 guys. Multiple Bears have come out in public in an after game press conference and questioned his moves. They should have called a timeout. We're not playing right. I mean, they don't believe in that dude. Eberflus is done, and he wasn't the right guy to groom Caleb Williams. He wasn't the right guy to do it. He's a defensive coach. When he was a defensive coordinator with the Colts, dude, he had dogs on that defense. Not saying he's not a good defensive coordinator, but Eberflus will get fired before the end of this season. Deservedly so. And, as much as I thought Rome Odunze was a bad pick, you had weapons. You should have went offensive line.
We said it.
Yeah. You didn't need him. And what has Rome done? He hasn't done much, man. Not saying he's not good.
He just hasn't done anything. But you have so many other guys. You have Keenan Allen. You have DJ Moore. You got Komet. You got Swift. I mean, you got all the weapons that you need. And I'm going to tell you. So this is I saw this this last week. So when the Bears drafted Mitchell Trubisky after his rookie season, they fired the coach. When they drafted Justin Fields after the first season, they fired the coach. So now, after drafting Caleb, you're probably going to fire the coach, which will mean that you have drafted rookie quarterbacks, and in their first 2 seasons, you've given them 2 new coaches. If they fire Eberflus, which we think they will, because they've definitely underachieved for what they built. Last year, they had the number 1 defense against the run. I mean, you paid your defense, and you're losing games that, you're in a tough division, but you're losing games to Arizona. You lost a game to Washington that I don't think you should have even been in the game. Washington had plenty of chances to put that fucking thing away, but you lost it there at the end, and that could, that's heartbreak. But at the end of the day, that bad coaching is what we saw in that play. You don't practice that at the end of practice?
Yeah.
Are we not practicing that on defense at the end of practice?
Belichick and Tomlin were sticklers for situational coaching like that. That is situational. That is coaching. 1,000%.
Love the way you mentioned Tomlin in there, by the way.
No, I think
Kudos.
Listen,
to Tomlin.
That should be a cut bet. Who's the next guy to get fired? Is it Peterson? Is it Matt Eberflus? Or is it Antonio Pierce? I mean, Antonio Pierce, if he gets fired in a bye week, that's really bad. But
how you get fired on your day off, man?
Well, he is from Compton, so I mean,
dude,
it would be the memes would be phenomenal if he got fired on his bye week.
Do you know that the Raiders aren't practicing this week? Is what I heard.
What?
You're bringing in.
You usually don't practice on your off week, though, Ed.
You fired out. You have a whole other offense.
Doesn't matter. It's an NFLPA fucking rule.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't break the fucking rules. Are you kidding? You're gonna call those dudes to come in? Like, bro, we got 2 wins. Fuck you. We'll figure it out on Monday.
I'm coming in on my day off, Eddie.
Yeah, exactly. So
okay,
but Bears -5. The Patriots played tough. They should have at least gone to win that game there, and I think Gerard Mayo will learn that as a rookie head coach. You're a 2-win team at that point. Your fucking rookie franchise quarterback made a hell of a fucking play. I haven't seen enough praise for Drake May this week on that fucking phenomenal play that he made to tie the game or potentially win it, because they should have gone for 2 with zeros on the clock. So, but the Patriots played tough, and so I think this is going to be a close game, just the way the Bears have been playing. So,
agreed.
Yeah.
And then the second low-scoring game, we got Will Levis and the Titans going into LA to play Harbaugh, Herbert, and the Chargers, favored by 7.5.
There's no way that Will Levis is playing. Like he can't play, bro. Like literally, like I don't know, dude. The team has 2 wins. They were both led by Mason Rudolph. I don't know. And the Chargers are, like Eddie said a couple minutes ago, they are trending way up. And how good, dude? Listen, I watched that game on Sunday, and the Brown. What was crazy about the Browns? So Myles Jarrett, fucking sack, 2 sacks in a row on 2nd and 3rd down, and the next drive opens with a sack. Yeah. By the way, 3 third downs after sacks for the Chargers, both resulted in long touchdowns. 3rd and 21, and they get a 27-yard touchdown pass. And then 3rd and 17 or 18, and they get like a 50-something yarder or whatever. Herbert
Winston was sacked 6 times. Sorry to interrupt you. But
Winston also fucking turned the ball over in the red zone a ton of times. So, I mean, the Chargers are definitely ticking up. If Mason Rudolph plays, I kind of lay off of the game. But if Will Levis is the quarterback, take the fucking Chargers. That is a must. Every week, Will Levis is playing, take the other team.
And I really feel like Jim Harbaugh is starting. We all know his style. We all know his game plan. It's like, we will not make mistakes, and we will give enough rope for the other team to hang themselves. But I also feel like Jim is also letting the leash go on Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is gaining trust, and he's being a little more open with the offense. And I think he's gaining more trust. And I mean, look at the Chargers, man. Look at their record. And I do think they are going to make the playoffs. And I do think that they're going to beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead. I think that's like in 3 weeks or something.
We'll wait till we get there. But
okay.
If Will Levis is playing, future cut bet. If Will Levis is playing, take the Chargers -7.5.
All right, another divisional game. We have the Eagles favored by 7 going into Dallas, playing the Cowboys over under a 43.
I don't like the 7, and I'll tell you why. Not last year, I think it was the year before. Cooper Rush started against the Eagles, and he played a hell of a game. So I don't like the 7, but I do love, and blue chip, the over on this game, over 43. Dallas' defense is hurt. We know what the Eagles can do on offense. Jalen Hurts has looked really, really good. Jalen Hurts throws a decent a fucking deep ball. Like
that's where I was going with this, Rafa.
His intermediate shit isn't great. His deep ball is fucking well above average. Like listen, side by side, Lamar and him, Jalen Hurts for throwing the ball. I'd take Jalen Hurts 100 times. 100 times.
That's where I was going with this. Can we stop the narrative that Jalen Hurts is not a thrower of the foosball? Because he threw some fucking dimes last week.
He can throw it. I mean, listen, he can throw it. He's got great weapons all over the field as well, which is, it gives you a little bit more confidence to fucking throw the ball up there, right?
They should.
You're throwing to A.J. Brown, you're throwing to Devontae, you got Saquon, back-flipping motherfuckers.
I don't care if it's 3rd and 18. You should play action.
I think they can get it.
You should play action every fucking time because you got to be worried about Saquon. Just don't throw to him in the flat.
Yeah. That's not going to happen. So, but I like the over. I'm going to blue chip over on the Cowboys and Eagles, over 43. Cooper Rush scares me a little bit just because of what he did against the Eagles a couple of years ago. So he kept it in. He played well. So, but CeeDee Lamb, I don't think he's going to play. Yeah, huge rivalry game, of course. It's in Dallas. They haven't won a game at home yet, so keep that in mind. So, but yeah, let's take the over 43 on the Eagles and the Cowboys.
All right, and then the last afternoon game, we got the Jets and the Cardinals at Pick'em, over under 46.
I'm taking the Jets. I'm blue chipping the Jets. Dude, just as bad as Kyler Murray is, as he looked bad last week, they still won by 20. And fuck, what happened to Marvin Harrison Jr.? Where the fuck is he gone?
I think he had 5 targets and 2 receptions
for like 18 yards or something.
Maybe 27.
Dude, I don't know.
We dropped a reel today, and everyone's kind of scratching their head about it.
He was 2 for 34 with 5 targets.
2 for So McBride, great weapon, great tight end. You have Connor, who is a great running back. I think at one point was maybe leading the NFL in rushing yards. Kyler has been a disappointment. I dropped him today I dropped him today in both. I know no one gives a fuck about my fantasy, but I just dropped him. I didn't even fucking try to trade him on fantasy.
Okay. I thought it was another fantasy you had with Kyler Murray going. Well, Call of Duty just did come out, right? Like a week ago or something?
Yeah. There you go.
There could be that. I don't know, but I like the Jets. I'm blue chipping the Jets on the road. I'd like to see the Jets get going, man. I'd like to see them get going. So we'll see. But I like the Jets. Blue chip the Jets at Arizona. Pick them. Let's go Jets.
It
Jets
seems like
also
go ahead.
Oh no, Jets just also have an extended week since they played Thursday night last week, and it seemed to get a little more going. Jets also have a way better defense. At least they seem more gelled together than the Bears have been playing the past couple of weeks.
And doesn't it seem like this was a very Aaron Rodgers type deal? Like he was getting destroyed 2 weeks ago, and he's not taking accountability. He has a good game, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, whatever he had. And this just seems like a run where the Jets are gonna get and win like a 3 or 4 game stretch
in a row.
It's just like something Aaron Rodgers does every year. It feels like, does it not, Rafa?
It does, and you're getting an Arizona team that last week they played a good defensive game. They played a Bears offense that struggled, and they struggled on offense, and yet they still won by 20. So, but you're getting a team that struggled on offense. For the Jets, for the most part, the Jets defense is one of the 5 most talented defenses in the league, and they have a hell of a roster on offense from what we've seen. They got to be able to run the ball. I think they will be able to do all of that this week. That's why I like the Jets. And Eddie Money's right. I think this is when they're going to reel off 3 or 4 in a row. And like Eddie says, this is Aaron Rodgers. This is what we expect from him. So let's see it. And I think it's going to happen this week at least.
How about that Garrett Wilson? How about that Garrett Wilson fucking Michael Jordan catch?
He's a bad man.
He's a bad man.
I try to tell you guys. All of a sudden,
no, we know he's a bad dude. I can give 3 fucks about fantasy, Eddie Money. Come on.
Wow, man. All right.
All
As
right.
long as
Going
I'm
in-
not last, it don't matter.
The primetime games this week, Sunday Night Football. We got the Lions favored by 3.5 going into Houston, playing CJ Stroud, and Nico Collins should be returning this week, over under a 49.
I like the Lions. I love the Lions. I think they're playing the best in the league, even though the Chiefs are undefeated. I think the Lions are absolutely just demolishing teams. They can run the ball, they can pass the ball, they can do it all. And Houston, nobody's saying anything about CJ Stroud's 2 of his last 3 games have been like Bryce Young-esque. 10 of 21 at Green Bay for like 85 yards. Last week's game was another shit show for him. And he have weapons. Okay, well, you don't hold Purdy to those same fucking standards, do you? So,
Look,
I mean, we should say something about it.
Well, for sure. No one says he has weapons. No one thought Nico Collins was a top 10 receiver. No one thought Tank Dell was a top 10 receiver. No, I mean, he has the same dudes that he had last year, and he played a lot better. He looks like he's panicking in the pocket.
Yeah,
he's panicking, and he's under pressure. But it's the NFL, man. Everyone's under pressure. That's just the way it is.
And teams make it, and teams make adjustments on a year to year, week to week, day to day, etc. But since we're on the Lions, by the way, and I want to touch on this, Ben Johnson. He's going to be the number 1 hot commodity. He could have been the number 1 hot commodity last year. And this is why I believe that he will take the Cowboys job when they fire McCarthy. And that's just inevitable. Unless McCarthy goes on this incredible run this season, and we can all see that it's probably not going to happen. I think Ben Johnson was waiting for the Cowboys job. He could have easily last year gotten any job that he wanted, more than likely. And he didn't. He decided to stay. Did he decide to stay because Dallas was not open? I strongly believe that he did that, and I think he will be the next Cowboys head coach.
I strongly disagree with you, Rafa, on this. And I agree with everything you said. He bet on himself. He could have left last year. The fact that he stayed was kind of a head scratcher because everyone wanted him. Now, why in the hell would Ben Johnson, Jerry Jones reminds me a lot of Al Davis when Al Davis went senile. We saw what Jerry Jones did. He traded a 4th round pick for a fucking receiver that was probably going to get cut. Jerry Jones is your GM. The only way, which it will never happen, if I'm Ben Johnson, the only way I go to Dallas is that I have full control. I get the Bill Parcells. I pick my groceries. I cook the dinner. And Jerry Jones will never do that. He will never give up because when they win, he wants that, giant-sized pie of credit because that's who Jerry Jones is. I'm a football guy. I played at Arkansas. I ran the fucking wishbone. The game has passed you, Jerry. You didn't make fucking a move in the beginning of the season, and you've only continued to make shitty moves during the season. If I'm Ben Johnson, I wouldn't go to the Cowboys. It's America's team, whatever. It's a losing situation, Rafa.
That's the only explanation. That's the only explanation I have for him staying back last year when he could have gone to any job that was there.
But if it's as simple as he believes in the team that they've built and that they could win a Super Bowl,
what?
Which it looks like they can.
Why wouldn't you go to Chicago? Why wouldn't you go to Chicago? You're just missing an offensive line.
Well, with Dallas, and listen, Chicago is there now. It's probably going to be there as a job. So now, and the Raiders' job is probably going to be there as well. And you'll be able to pick your quarterback in Chicago. But in Dallas, you have a top 5 receiver, and you have arguably a top 8 or 10 quarterback. And last year, we know that he was top 4 or 5. So that had to have been his thought process last year. I still think he goes to Dallas. Chicago's a great job, as it could be a great job and stay in the division. But that's him staying back last year is why I believe that he will go to Dallas. Because I don't think it wasn't open last year. So
Jared Goff is on a generational run where the last 5 games, his completion percentage is like 85%. It's never happened. At one point, he had more touchdowns than he did incomplete passes. And Jared Goff is not running around the field making circus act plays. I don't think he needs an ultra talented quarterback. I think Dak would do great with Ben Johnson. I just don't feel like I just wouldn't want the headache of a senile Jerry Jones, man.
Let me ask you this. If you're a competitor, right? Mm-hmm. And you're a competitive person, which you are, right? Mm-hmm. Would it not be an incredible feat to go into Dallas and get them to the Super Bowl, which they haven't been to an NFC title game in 30 fucking years, right? Or almost 30 years. Would that not be a greater feat than going into, let's say, Chicago, where you're going to have to compete with the Lions in the division?
100%. When you're the quarterback and the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, winning is even more praised.
Special.
It is.
Exactly.
But if you're talking about a challenge, I could think of another challenge that's even better than the Dallas Cowboys. Come to the Las Vegas Raiders, where Dallas has won 12 games in the last fucking 4 years.
No. I know. But for me, if I'm Ben Johnson, I'm definitely Dallas. When it gets down to it, Dallas, I think is
there's no question.
Dallas is a better job. I mean, when you're the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, or you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, it's a different aura.
It's like the shortstop of the New York Yankees.
It's the biggest thing. It's bigger than that. I think when you're the Cowboys quarterback or you're the head coach of the Cowboys, it is the biggest fucking thing in this country. I think in this country, those 2 gigs are extremely large. And I think Ben Johnson is up for the challenge. He's an arrogant dude, and you can see his arrogance in his play call.
Oh my God, bro.
And that show that he put on in Dallas, he put the fuck to them, and he made it be known that I'm the baddest motherfucker out there when it comes to calling plays. And that's why I think he's gonna end up in Dallas. I really do. And it would be great for Dallas, and that's just my take on Ben Johnson and the Dallas Cowboys. So
come to the Raiders, Ben.
Please. Well, we did have Kingsbury for about 2 hours.
For about an hour and a half. And then
fuck that up.
Going into the last game of the week on Monday Night Football, 2 on the Dolphins headed into SoFi to play the Rams. Rams are favored by 1 with an over-under of 50.
This is it. Start your week off and bet the over on this game all the way around. I mean, Tua can score. And I said it the other day when they were playing, I think they were playing Arizona. I said, if Tua's starting, bet the over in that game. And you saw the Bills game this week also went over. Tua's a cover machine when it comes to the total. That offense flies when he's out there. There's just certain shit, I don't know what it is with Tua, that he doesn't win games, at least not this year. But I like the over 50 with the Rams and the Dolphins on Monday night.
I love the over, Rafa. The Rams' deficiency is their linebacker. I think Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Mozart, A-Chain, they are going to run crossing routes. These linebackers are going to be, they're like chickens with their heads cut off. This is the perfect game to throw underneath routes, which Tua does extremely well. I love a shit ton of points. The Rams linebackers are just,
and the Rams just traded their best corner, by the way.
Yeah. So
I like the over on Monday night.
Word. Palabra.
And then that sums up the show.
Well, guys, What a great college football weekend again. I want to say thanks to CJ. CJ got heated as fuck. Flip that shit if we can.
Dude, his hatred for the SEC
It's
is
crazy.
just it's on another level of hatred. And I get what he's saying because he doesn't like, and I've always felt this about Notre Dame, how you get a preseason ranking and then you just fucking win and win and win, and even if you lose once, you're still really close. And he feels the same way about the SEC. The problem I have with it is that the SEC is full of talent on every fucking team. That's the problem that I have with it. And him and I will never see eye to eye on that.
No. Yeah, the Pac-12 is never coming back. Eddie Money.
It's coming back. Just not the way it should be.
It's not the way it should be.
I'm missing the dog in the background. Love the beanie. Love your
Thank you.
Rafa, congratulations on your big dub last night. I wish
it just wasn't Ed for Republicans. It was for the entire country.
I hope that I always cheer for America, and I hope we can all come together and make America great again. How about that?
Damn right.
What a crazy slogan.
A crazy slogan. There it is. Odie's impression of Trump is great.
That was so good. So good. So thanks to everyone, man. Rafa, any closing words?
No, make sure you guys all you men out there who play golf, make sure you get your golf in this week, next week. Rain's coming somewhere around the horizon. Daylight's short. Make sure you get in your 5:30 a.m. tee times. Book them. Make sure you get out there, play some golf.
Half Moon Bay, baby.
Eddie's playing Half Moon Bay this weekend. I'm playing at the Braemar Country Club for a charity event for kids. Playing a scramble. It's going to be a good time.
Very cool.
And by the way, Eddie and I are playing in the Malbon Classic. By the way, Eddie and I are terrible. So we are terrible. We just play at really nice places because we're stupid. So, but we are terrible. Him and I are going to play in a 2-man Malbon Classic at the Braemar Country Club on December 9th.
Representing.
So and the Malbon swag is on another level. I mean, you see Eddie wearing it there. Eddie is. Yeah, that's the golf ball there. Eddie is. If you look up Malbon, Eddie should be their plus size ambassador. 100%. Ed should be their plus size. Stephen Malbon and everyone at Malbon. If you guys, maybe we get this clip, we can clip this out, and hopefully you guys will see it.
Man.
Stephen Malbon at Malbon. Check out Ed as your plus size ambassador. He's got a bunch of gear. If you think it's funny, this man is full blown Malbon. We're at the Trump, and he just looks like a Malbon billboard.
I have a PhD in dripology, man, and Stephen Malbon and Malbon gear, dude. They have the craziest collabs. They're collabing with Ghostface Killah. That's dropping. They just collabed with J.R. Reed. I mean, the dude J.R. Smith. The dude is sort of a swag genius. You know,
Justin Johnson, by the way, who was voted second best dressed on the tour.
No, Jason Day. Jason Day.
Or I'm sorry, Jason Day.
Eddie Money, get on it, man. The swag, Malbon swag, out of control, man. It's out of control.
They got a store in Melrose, on Melrose. You got to check that out. But I'm gonna we got to send them some pictures. Ed needs to be your plus size ambassador because I saw you got some lean dudes in there. Some
all tall
men and women.
6'1".
No. You guys cater to the short and stubby like Eddie and I.
Yeah, man.
Make sure you get us in there.
All inclusive. All inclusive.
Ed doesn't need money. Ed doesn't need money. He just needs a shirt a week, a raincoat a week, a hat a week. That's it. Ed will do it, and he'll fucking post that shit on a daily, baby.
Hey, Eddie Money, when we pull up to the golf course and we get our bags out, we win automatically. They're like, these dudes mean business.
Yeah, and they think we're good. And then all of a sudden there's a shot to the left, a shot to the right.
And then on the fourth hole, Eddie fucking hits his club against a tree.
Oh, yeah. No, that was one time. Eddie won't make that mistake again because he's got expensive clubs now.
I got new clubs now.
That'll never happen again. But the slicing and the the topping and all that, we handle all of that.
We got to get Eddie Money out there and record us at the Malbon Classic at Braemar, man. That's going to be a good time.
Eddie Money swing a fucking golf club. I would
Never
love
done
to
it in
see
my life.
anyone. 100%. You've never done it. You probably never swung a baseball bat. I still want to see that shit.
Yes.
Nope.
So check us out.
Episode 103. We love everyone. Thank you to Zach, to Rick Flores, Zero Cool. Who
Will
else
Hanley.
was out?
Michelle was in here.
Michelle
was in here.
Yes.
Michelle, when she saw the Trump hat, she automatically ended the show.
exited.
Fucking exited.
Yes. Exit
Yeah,
stage.
she's like, oh
left.
no.
Yeah. But no, thanks to everyone. We have a great time doing this, and we hope you guys enjoy it. We will see you next Wednesday, man.
See you
we
later.
love you all.
You guys
see you later.